good morning. Andrew Dominio after Boilermaker weekend.
Morning.
What a weekend it was.
Beautiful.
It was beautiful weather. It was hot. It was a great display of everything going on here with everybody in town.
It was hot, except for at race start time. It was considerably cooler than we had anticipated going into the weekend, and I think that allowed for
it really was. It was
quite a
about.
good race.
It was about. I would say maybe 4 degrees cooler than we had expected.
Mm-hmm.
It got up there yesterday, but not to 90. Today will be that day.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right, everybody's asking the big question. How did your mom end up?
She did very well, yes.
She wasn't first in the family, though.
No, she wasn't. She finished very strong. I think she narrowly may have beat my stepdad, but she did very well.
Coming up, we'll speak with Ryan Schmelz on, I can't even believe I'm saying this, on the shooting of the grazing of Donald Trump. It seemed like the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. It was unbelievable to see this video on Saturday.
I was walking the dog on Friday, and actually Steve Houck was the first person to call me. And, when you're not in front of the television and, nothing was really reported, I think responsibly at first, nobody wanted to jump to any conclusions or anything like that in the media. But I had got the word from Steve Houck that basically, oh my God, they shot at Trump. And I said, what are you talking about? That's just not possible in 2024 with all the protections and everything. And sure enough,
there are questions. Of course,
big ones.
Last night, President Biden spoke, and obviously, maybe it's time that the rhetoric gets toned down. This hatred of the two sides, those who like Trump, those who don't. Maybe it's time to tone this down. This was a 20-year-old kid. They say he acted alone. How in the world was that building not a part of the perimeter?
The counter sniper perimeter.
I don't even understand it. You have there were stories coming out as early as late Saturday. The BBC, I first saw the story. They'd interviewed somebody that said, we were telling police, look over there, there's a guy that just climbed up on that building, and we think he has a gun. And sure enough, that's where the shots came from. And
the craziest part about this is, I was talking to people about this when Trump came to Utica. Now, I guess there is a difference to the level of Secret Service protection for the current president and a former president. But when Trump came to Utica, I mean, you had heard word that there was a sniper on every roof in downtown Utica.
Listen,
the fact that was an unsecured roof?
He's still the leading candidate for the Republicans. And here's the other thing. I'm sorry. What in the hell were they doing allowing him to stand up and fist pump? You're on the stage. There's already been shots coming from one area. Now there could be another shooter. And here he is standing up and on top. He's a tall guy, so he's towering over the Secret Service agents, and they just allowed him to do that. I can't believe that. I mean, somebody could have taken him out. The second shooter, if you will, could have taken him out easily.
There are multiple errors on the part of Secret Service, and one of the other tragic parts about this is a father of 2 and a husband. 50-year-old man was shot and killed from the shooter's weapon, and he died protecting his family. It's tragic.
Do not get it. And I don't think as of now we really know what this kid's MO was. He was registered Republican. He had given to some 501c3 that would be considered maybe a liberal organization, but it could very well be just something you'd give in your community. But why? What... Did he leave a note? We don't have this. There's a lot of stuff we just don't have right now. But I think really more than anything else, how did a sniper clearly could have taken out the president. He was able to shoot people in the crowd, so maybe his aim wasn't all that good. But look at how they took him out. So clearly a sniper's gun could reach there
Yeah.
Why would you allow someone, and why wouldn't it be seen? Why wouldn't you immediately see there's somebody on the roof? He has a gun, and you take him out before he ever takes a shot. I don't understand any of this.
One of the things we'll talk to Steve Hauk or Robert Catalbiano today about is I had heard one report over the weekend. They were interviewing somebody that said with law enforcement agencies, they don't always use the same channel as far as radio communication. So some people were suggesting, well, maybe it was difficult for the local law enforcement that the gentleman who talked to BBC or other people who saw him go up to the roof, hey, there's somebody on the roof. There's maybe not any way that the local police could have communicated that to the Secret Service quickly.
Yeah.
But one other thing, too, is I saw a graphic.
Well, if you're going to have them there, didn't we learn this from 9/11?
Yeah.
All agencies need to be able to communicate.
And that was part of the investigation, the 9/11 investigation after the fact, was that something needed to be done about that. But if you look at, I saw a graphic, and if you look at the way Trump had turned his head at the last second, right before the shot came, if he hadn't looked at the chart that he was referencing, it may have been a different story.
You're right. It might have been. A lot of really unanswered questions. We'll talk to Ryan Schmelz on it coming up a little bit. We'll speak with Steve Hauk and just how New York State, how police agencies are able to secure an area and what should be done and maybe what wasn't done here blows my mind. You're talking about a former president who is the leading Republican candidate on the week before they have the convention. And this is the best that we can do. I think I've been saying that a lot lately. I feel that way a lot. This is the best we can do. Apparently, it's the best we can do. I can't believe it. Robert Caltabiano
Yep.
is a former U.S. Secret Service specialist. We've had him on before. It'll be interesting to see what he has to say about this. Jimmy Fallon will be on this morning.
Fresh off vacation.
The man. And we'll speak about other things, the convention, and, of course, the reaction to the Trump attack. So there you go. I've never seen anything like what we saw Saturday.
I mean, 81 is the last time something like this happened when Reagan was shot at. And I just
even that, Reagan, they pushed him into the car. Somebody had said, well, the reason they allowed him to come up and do the fist bump was because there was an all clear. They had a clear space, and at this point they had the shooter. How do you know you have both shooters? What if there's two?
Yeah.
What if there are three shooters? This makes no sense. Well, he wanted to look strong. Okay, well, you're not going to look strong in a casket.
Yeah.
So I would think that we have protocol. I mean, what if this was a foreign government trying to come in and take him out? They wouldn't have missed. This was a 20-year-old kid who clearly didn't have a good shot. It is mind-blowing. And what are you thinking as a 20-year-old? I guess this is suicide because you're going to die.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Maybe that was the plan all along. I don't know, but craziness. We'll speak with Ryan Schmelz coming up. I thought what a great Boilermaker weekend this was. It was just everything seemed to go, and the flyover.
It was awesome.
Really spectacular, and over again, by the way.
Yeah, they went a few times.
And we had a chance to meet up afterwards with the pilots. Many of them, about half of them are local, and two of them are from Dolgeville.
No kidding.
Yeah, really cool. And it just, whether they were flying the helicopters or the planes over, they were able to rush them back from Griffiths, get them up on stage. And there they were interviewed by Stefan Rubitsky, who allowed them to come up on stage. And Stefan was right there in the middle of all of it.
Actually, we talked to Sheriff Mayfield as part of our broadcast, and he had said that they were the ones that were responsible for, in charge of getting the pilots back from Griffiths. So he did very well with that. His men and women did very well with that, and I like how low the helicopter came in.
Low.
I was a little stunned about
that. You're feeling it.
Yeah.
Right? You're really feeling it. Anyway, as they're making their way through the crowd, it was really something. watching them. Here they are in their Top Gun jumpsuits, and they're walking in, and the ladies are swooning all over them. Yeah, it was something that Andrew goes through often, and
in my
something.
dreams.
Yeah.
I do want to just shout out Tim Reed, who I saw across the finish line.
Tim did the race,
and he looked like he was walking in here on a weekday morning to help me co-host the show afterward. He looked so just. Yep, this was it. I did it.
He did not look winded.
Correct.
He looked really good. Let me go to Roger on the Trump shooting. Roger, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Unlike Robert De Niro, I guess Trump took the real bullet.
Yeah,
Robert
guess.
De Niro, the tough guy.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, I just got to say, they call him Hitler. They call him he's going to destroy democracy. I mean, what do you want? Some mushhead kid gets information like that, and he decides to go take some action on Hitler. Second time in history they tried to assassinate Hitler, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Well, the only thing I can tell you is Trump is as responsible for the rhetoric that's going on right now as everybody. They all need to tone it down. I don't think you can put this on any one party in this case. Everybody needs to tone it down, right down to the general public, because you get these. You get a 20-year-old like this, it's impressionable,
right,
and all of a sudden he thinks he's going to go out and be a hero for one side, which I don't understand, because you're going to die, right? I don't get it.
Here's the thing. It's going to tone down for a short time. It's not going to stay toned down.
You're right. It won't.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It's going to go wild and short just before everybody starts forgetting, and it's going to just go back to probably not as bad, but it's not.
Well, I don't know. It's a long way. We have a long way from here to November, right? So there's a lot to go on and a lot to happen. So it's just crazy. Roger, thank you, man. You have a wonderful day.
Okay.
All right.
You too.
Quickly, Chuck on the Boilermaker. Chuck Lester had some great experiences that I was seeing back and forth with you guys.
Oh, yeah.
At the Boilermaker. Chuck, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. I just I sent you that picture, you and Andrew, that picture that my son-in-law took.
Yeah.
That was the first and second place runners at that time. And this is the first time that one of the elite runners, this guy actually turned, waved, and gave me a big smile.
Yeah.
And it was number 2. He's the one that ended up winning the race.
Yeah, John
Keeler. That was really one of the cool highlights of my 29 years of being the knucklehead standing on stilts at the Boilermaker.
I got to say, listen, I hope you're there next year and the year after and the year after, because it's iconic, Chuck.
Well, I told my wife one more year, and she says that's good, but we'll see.
We'll see. That's right.
You never know. It depends on the old man feels.
All right.
So, yeah, Chuck, John Career is the one who ended up winning the race, and where Chuck stands is right across from basically the old St. Luke's Hospital, maybe just a little bit past that.
Yeah.
And
I'm down by the Utica Elks. Down by the Utica Elks.
Okay.
Well, that's
strip mall is.
You know what I'm saying. It's the general area there.
Yeah.
And at that point in the race, they were neck and neck, side by side, and that was kind of the theme from Burstone Road probably until about the top of your whatever that road is there. I can't think of it right now.
And it was
by the finish line, Whitesboro Street.
Whitesboro Street. It was still hot, but man, they flew. It was, and it was kind of interesting seeing 3 Kenyans at the end. I think I might have been looking at the women. Either way,
because it was 2 at the end.
Here they are. They all know each other. They all flew in together. The last time with the peach tree, this one won. The other one won up at the Cherry Blossom, and then there was a Chicago race, and the other one won, and then the Utica.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is incredible, the talent that comes running through this city on Boilermaker Sunday. Really cool, and so glad you're a part of it, Chuck. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It beats the snot out of me, but what the heck? Gotta have fun in this area.
No doubt about it. It's definitely worth it. Let me go to Ryan Schmel standing by from Fox News Radio. Ryan, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, guys. What a weekend.
What a weekend.
Unreal.
I mean, this is unreal. And so where are we to start? We've heard a lot of stuff. We've heard a lot of rumors. We now know the kid is 20 years old. Took a shot at the former president. What do we know going into Monday morning?
Well, Congress is going to be moving in some direction with this. We have legislation from New York Congress members Richie Torres and Mike Lawler, who are going to be introducing legislation that would up Secret Service security detail for those like former President Trump and maybe their family members as well. We have briefings that have been going on, security briefings, from House Republicans, and then House Democrats are also supposed to get their security briefing today. So I would expect a number of briefings over the next couple of weeks.
I just don't understand how that building wasn't a part of the perimeter.
Yeah. No, I mean, that question is going to be asked by a lot of people,
yeah.
And it's being asked by a lot of people. And I think Secret Service is going to be under the microscope for a long time after this. And, Karine Jean-Pierre, I believe, has a press briefing later on today. I would assume Secret Service questions are going to be quite plentiful.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about, and here, Ryan, even the part, I mean, we all have seen those photos of let's talk about Ronald Reagan being shot. The Secret Service comes in on top of him. They push him into the car and they whisk off. In this case, they allowed the former president to stand up and start giving fist pumps. I mean, at any point there could have been a second shooter that would have immediately taken him out. I don't understand how they allowed. Probably every president wants to come up and show his supporters that he's okay, but they just don't allow that to happen. And in this case, they did.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the protocol is for that. So you're asking the wrong person.
Yeah.
But it seemed like they stood on top of him for quite some time before they finally picked him up and moved him. I mean, They have to get him out of the scene. They got to get him out of there. So I mean, whether or not they knew the shooter was neutralized at that point or not, that's. We're all going to find it out at some point.
There was some audio. In the audio, you could hear, at least for the initial shooter down, clear, was the command before they started to move him from the stage.
I will speak with a former Secret Service agent, and I'm just telling you, I watched some interviews with former agents. It is just against protocol because you don't know. It's in that chaotic scene. You don't know if there's potentially a second shooter. It just blew my mind. Anyway, the whole thing was surreal. How did this happen? How was that area not part of the perimeter? You would think we've learned over years of assassination attempts how to prevent something like this, and the rhetoric is so high right now that anything could happen. Again, there will be a lot of questions here because I hate to say we need the Secret Service to be better going forward.
Yep. No, it's all a concern. That's why you're seeing Congress taking as much action as they are. This is going to be what we're talking about for some time.
Okay, Ryan, we appreciate it as always. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Hey, you too. Thank you. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
All right, you too.
Ryan Schmelz with Fox News Radio. We'll take a quick break and come back here. You want to pipe in on any of it? 315-736-0186. I do have some comments that we'll get to when we come right back, a bunch of them. And it's a Monday morning. Hold tight. Coming right back at WIBX.
My name is Mark Fry. I'm the Director of Thoracic Surgery here at Mohawk Valley Health System. I'm a board-certified thoracic surgeon specializing in robotic thoracic surgery. Thoracic surgery encompasses most of the issues that occur in the chest, things like lung cancer, esophageal cancer. We've implemented a multidisciplinary approach to thoracic oncology, which has never been available here in the Mohawk Valley. Patients really benefit from treatment in a multidisciplinary team, with a number of specialties all coming together to provide the cutting-edge, high-quality care that the patients of Mohawk Valley deserve. The lung cancer screening program here at MVHS identifies people who may be at high risk for lung cancer. It really drastically improves their outcomes and survival when we can identify these potential lung cancers early on before patients even have symptoms. Our thoracic program here at Mohawk Valley Health System really prides ourselves on high-quality, cutting-edge, state-of-the-art care.
For more information, visit mvhealthsystem.org.
Stop what you're doing and listen to this. Your God-given freedoms are up for the taking, and those doing the taking are the same people who've sworn to defend your freedom. They think they can control the media, hide the truth, and force their delusions onto your family. You know what they can't take away? Self-reliance, peace of mind. Got water filtration? You should. A charged solar generator? You better. Emergency food on your shelf? Get it now from My Patriot Supply. My Patriot Supply is the most trusted name in survival, and for damn good reason, too. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com right now and save $200 on their best-selling 3-month emergency food kit. It delivers over 2,000 calories per day, plus sealed inside practically unpierceable packaging. It lasts up to 25 years. Oh, and did I mention it's delicious? Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and save $200 per kit. Includes fast and free shipping. That's MyPatriotSupply.com.
This is Keeler in the morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Da, 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 da. There I am. Ann in Rome. Hello, Ann in Rome. Good morning.
Good morning.
What a day. What a weekend. What a Boilermaker. I mean, for our area, really, what an amazing, amazing weekend. And then we get this news on Saturday. It was just unbelievable. And you were one of the first people to text me and say that it had happened.
Well, I watch it all the time, and the first thing I want to say is everybody's saying, oh, Trump's going to tone down his speech for the convention. The last rally he had, he said, I'm working for everyone, Republicans, Democrats, everybody. I want to make it better for everyone. So he's already toned it down ahead of time. Unlike Bird Brain, who comes out and says it's time to put a bullseye on Trump, he's a rapist, he's a fascist. And every one of them, including Chuck Schumer, makes comments. Wait, no, let me finish, please.
Listen, all I'm going to say, I'm not going to let you finish. I am not going to, I just want to let you know in advance. There is no, Donald Trump is a big boy with big boy pants who is as responsible for the rhetoric as anybody else, and probably more so. He's the first one to speak. Now, I'm not saying that's what caused this. However, to imply that he is some dove out there is, I'm sorry, ridiculous. And you did. You said he's already lowered the rhetoric, and that's not true.
He did. Did you see his last rally?
Listen to me for a second. I'm just not going there. That's all I'm saying. This never should have happened. Everybody needs to take a deep breath, and not just politicians, but the public does as well. I mean, we got to remember what it was like to actually vote for people. Not everybody remembers, but to vote for people like Ronald Reagan, or even, the Clinton years or the Bush years, or even, this is a new elevation that we have reached that we have got to tone down on both sides. Not just one side.
The elevation has got to stop when you actually talk about physically going after someone, Bill.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Yeah.
Right. And what I'm telling you is this was the most horrific thing I've ever seen in my life. And everybody kept saying, it's his ear, it's his ear. Being a former nurse, I thought it penetrated his head.
Well, it very well, think about it.
It was that close,
yeah.
And I thought it could have just hit his ear. It's absolutely got to stop. But how much of a hypocrite to come out and say we have to tone it down when the last time that he spoke, he called him a rapist. I mean, that's really going over the line.
Well, listen, I thank you for your opinion, Ann, and I'm not completely with you on it. I'm sorry. Donald Trump is not a guy that is innocent in the rhetoric. I'm sorry, he's not. I don't care what you think you saw over the weekend or before. He's not. And nor is Biden, nor are the Republicans, nor are the Democrats. It's like the country is coming to an end in every conversation, depending on who you're talking about, whether it's Democrats or Republicans. It's got to stop. We're going too far. It has to stop. This is a great example to say, let's look for the best person for the job going forward and cut back on the rhetoric. I'm sorry. I
think everybody comes out with gun control. You need to
think about I mean, the gun control thing, we already know that's, first of all, where is it going? You're not going to take everybody's guns away. And we've already seen countless cases where it just doesn't work. Somewhere it's in the minds of the people
100%.
is what we're talking about. This is human beings. Their minds are I don't know, they're off. They've been deprogrammed or programmed improperly. This is nuts.
You're going to find that this kid, as they said, he was bullied. You know, everybody has a switch that snaps. And I think that you don't give your kid a gun if you know that your kid has issues. The kid had bomb making equipment.
I know. And I don't think we've gotten in far enough to find out how did the kid get the gun? Was he living at home with his parents? Did his parents get him the gun?
Well, the weapon was legally purchased by the shooter's father. Is what we
how did the kid get the gun?
How does the kid get the gun? Right. I mean,
there are many questions.
Right,
here.
and that's what I'm saying. We need to try to take a step back and say, look, if you have a mental issue, you should not own a gun. You just shouldn't. I mean, look at all these people that have been doing these shootings.
The problem that you have is you're talking about something that has been a Democratic push. Democrats have pushed that. And ultimately, the problem that you run into, and we've seen it with the SAFE Act in New York, is now who gets to decide who has a mental issue? Who gets to decide they're just bad enough to not have a gun, and now we're going to go in and take their guns, which many say is a violation of their Second Amendment rights. So I don't know how we get there, but this is a great example of something has to be done.
Absolutely. You have to have things for people for mental disorders that are on the streets.
Yeah.
These homeless people that are ODing all the time. Let's take a step back and look at everybody and how can you help these people?
Well, and that's probably that's probably the only solution we really have, because isn't that what we're learning? Like somewhere we got to change the minds of people. And if you're a parent and you know your kid is on the edge. Maybe they didn't know. Maybe these parents didn't know. But if you know, didn't we see that in the last case? Wasn't there just a case where the father and the mother were just
were charged?
Right, exactly.
In that
were
case,
charged.
yes.
And I'm not even sure about that case, although, I don't know. I don't know the answer, Ann. All I know is
Saturday you could have picked me up off the floor. I've never seen anything so horrific. Take a chill pill, whatever everybody has to do. Go vote. Don't hate people for the way they vote or the way they think. Just let people be people.
And leave water at your door for the people delivering goods to your house.
My FedEx man told me I saved his life. It was so hot out. And I have water ready for the next 3 days.
All right, Ann. Fair enough. It's going to be hot. We're back up to 90 today.
Yes, it is. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, to Ann's point, I did see a lot of on social media people saying, things about, it was only an ear, or, you should
listen, I've seen social media.
It was a AR-style rifle that nearly would have destroyed his head. It would have blown the back of his head off.
I've seen some of the things I've seen on social media are mind-blowing on both sides. It's right down to when the whole thing happened, you have the people that are standing in the very front row of the Trump rally. They're turning around and F-bombing the media like it's the media that caused they're double fisting, by the way. Just like that guy in that white truck when I was driving to work the other day. I don't know how. Get your hand on the steering wheel, man.
What's it going to do with it? What's it going to do with the help?
Hi, Tom. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, we got a joyous event and a god-awful event here. The joyous is the Boilermaker, but let's go to the god-awful one. The shooter was 20 years old and not a kid. He is
okay. Fair enough.
He's eligible to serve in the armed services, eligible in most places to vote. But actually, nowadays, 20-year-olds, while legally adults, they're still not developed. The adult mind isn't capable of full logic until the age of 25.
Can I say this, that if you compare a 20-year-old from 2024 to a 20-year-old in 1945.
Little different.
Even
Right.
a 20-year-old in 1960, it's a completely different world.
Okay, so there's nature versus nurture. It's the
Yeah.
nurture thing, and we got to fix the nurturing. Okay, on the gun. If this was, as reported, an AR-15 style rifle, there are different calibers that are available in these AR-15 style rifles, and the people who are reporting it probably don't know. You know what from Shinola about guns.
Yeah.
So let's go to a true AR-15. They are a .223 caliber. They shoot at .223 caliber round, which is a 22 projectile. It's a very light. It's not the same 22 as you get in your
Right, like a 22.
nylon. Right.
Yeah.
But it's that very small, very light projectile powered with a modest charge. Compared to a deer rifle, it's nowhere near as powerful as a deer rifle. Nowhere near. So while the projectile attains a high rate of speed, it loses its stability in flight. You know, when you send when a passer sends a nice spiral pass, it maintains its trajectory and doesn't get on. It's the same with a bullet. But in the .223 round, after a certain distance, it starts to tumble, and it loses its the rifling effect is lost because of the lightness of the round, and it starts to tumble. Just about the point at which, now, if I heard right on the reports, the range was about 125 yards. From the point where
I think it was 160.
Fired.
I think it was 160, Tom.
That's a long shot for an AR.
Yeah.
They are meant for varmint shooting at relatively close range.
Which is why probably somebody from the audience got hit, but isn't it amazing? No one else got hit, but there was either a direct grazing of Trump, or maybe it was a ricochet, and the fact that it only grazed his ear is like like miraculous,
unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that kid has to have had either a lot of firearms experience. That was a fantastic shot on his part, and and it was just the grace of God, and probably the tumbling of the bullet at that particular time, and his nodding over. Okay, well, we still have a lot to learn, but 160 yard parameter.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're going to speak with a former Secret Service agent, and it'll be interesting to see what he says. Steve Houck later on next hour. Also, I guess Jimmy Fallon's on. I don't know what he knows about AR-15s necessarily, but nonetheless,
How about a gear change? How about a gear change into the Boilermaker, the most magnificent jewel in our
it was
crown
wonderful.
of sports? Oh, I as a photojournalist, I try to tell my stories with pictures, and the crowding down there at the starting line, it got a little hard for me to shoot, so I was still looking for that one bingo, that one magic shot, and I found it when I was leaving. I was just all packed up except one camera, and I was walking away back to the parking spot that I had. And I looked over and I saw the new building that houses the Boilermaker organization.
Yeah.
And right on the windows, there are pictures, Boilermaker scenes that depict what the organization wants to put forth as its nature, and it's more than a race. That's the understatement of the century. So I got that shot, and I just, I said, why caption this? There's no need for a caption. That says it all.
Yeah.
It's just like several other sports events that we have here in the area. that start out grassroots.
Yeah, it's
and
incredible.
Grow naturally.
I think Tim Reed had said last week that the on the first race it was at like noon, and there was one water station through the whole thing. So look at how
one or two,
yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's learn, trial and error.
Yeah,
but everybody kept their foot in it, and we've got another one that's working the same way out here with the Joe White Hibernian golf scramble that provides tens of thousands of dollars for the relief of the hungry. It's
growing every year.
It's something about I don't know whether it's the air or the water or the soil around here.
Yeah.
But to give you an idea, that really proves a point about the nature of how great the atmosphere, the charitable atmosphere, is here in Oneida County in central New York. The Hibernians got a national award for their donations in that 17-ton food giveaway, and they were cited as having tied the gigantic Suffolk County operation, in number of memberships,
which is a much larger area. It's incredible.
And at the same time, in the same year, another organization, the League of Women Voters of Oneida County, Utica-Oneida County, tied the Suffolk County League of Women Voters in their membership. Voter registration, everything else. So there's two organizations here, very separate in purpose and intent, who have just stood so tall in their ability to serve. So that's why I think it's something in the water.
Something in the water. It might be in the water.
It's magnificent. Well, I was happy to be down there. Had a ball. It was great seeing.
Tom, I hate to do this, but I gotta say goodbye. All right, thank you again.
Look at the shots. Enjoy. We'll see you later.
All right, thank you, and I will look at them later and appreciate it greatly. Mike and Skylar, I know you're still waiting. Hang. I'll get with you on the other side of news, which we have coming up next hour. We'll speak with Steve Houck on the assassination attempt and what police departments learn about how to prepare for an event like this. We do it for the Boilermaker. We'll get to all of it coming up here Monday morning on W.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
He's supposed to be dead. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what former President Trump tells the New York Post, that it's a miracle he survived Saturday's assassination attempt with a bullet hitting his right ear.
He's doing very well.
That's senior Trump advisor Jason Miller who tells Fox.
This is pretty scary. It's only by the grace of God that President Trump is even alive right now. He knows that this is a key moment.
The former president is now in Milwaukee to accept the Republican nomination at the convention this week.
And he says he's completely rewritten his speech to focus on unity rather than on President Biden's policies. Trump said the speech he was going to give on Thursday was going to be a humdinger. Had this not happened, this would have been one of the most incredible speeches. Honestly, it's going to be a whole different speech now.
Fox's Brooks Singman. President Biden also calling for unity.
A former president was shot, an American citizen killed, while simply exercising his freedom to support the candidate of his choosing. We must not go down this road in America.
Two other Trump rally-goers were seriously injured by the gunman who was killed by Secret Service.
We do not know the motive of the shooter yet. We don't know his opinions or affiliations.
I'm standing in front of the accused shooter's home, surrounded by police tape. Authorities believe he acted alone.
Fox's Jonathan Sari in Bethel Park, Pennsylvania.
20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks was not on law enforcement's radar. No social media rants that they could find. Investigators have yet to determine a motive. They're unaware of any ideology he might have had. A former high school classmate described him as a loner and an outcast who was frequently bullied in school.
The Secret Service is under scrutiny for not preventing the assassination attempt and will brief the House Oversight Committee today.
It is incumbent upon the United States government to ensure the safety and well-being of these candidates for president.
Republican Congressman Mike Lawler. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey guys, Donald Trump Jr. here. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than what we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the whole story. Since January 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back, but what you can do is stop your losses today. How? By diversifying your savings into a gold IRA from my friends at Birch Gold Group. When you're done, your money will be parked in a tangible asset with a proven history. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. I trust Birch Gold. They provide an easy process to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold without losing your tax advantaged status. So text PROTECT to 989898. That's PROTECT to the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
Message and data rates may apply.
The Trump assassination attempt in Pennsylvania over the weekend is getting a lot of attention around the world.
Two of the earliest responses came from the former president's closest allies. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu posting on X that he was shocked. Hungary's leader Viktor Orban said his thoughts and prayers were with Donald Trump during what he called these dark hours. Argentina's president, Javier Milei, called the shooting cowardly and blamed what he described as the international left. In the UK, the appalled Prime Minister Keir Starmer saying he condemns all forms of political violence. Two British lawmakers, one from Starmer's Labour Party, have been murdered in their offices in the past 8 years. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
A lot of people in Texas still without power. A week after Hurricane Beryl hit and did damage and caused flooding, there are still nearly 300,000 outages there. On Wall Street, stocks could surge. Dow and NASDAQ futures are up big and could hit new record highs today. A repeat at Wimbledon. Carlos Alcaraz beat Novak Djokovic for the second straight year to win the famed tennis tournament. Argentina won the Copa America soccer tournament final.
The start of the Copa America final between Argentina and Colombia was delayed by 82 minutes after law enforcement officials say thousands of fans without tickets stormed the gates to get into Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Luckily, the match was worth the wait, even after Argentinian superstar Lionel Messi had to be subbed off for injury in the 66th minute, as we stayed scoreless all through regulation and into extra time up until the 112th minute.
Lautaro Martinez!
On Fox, Lautaro Martinez, the 112th minute winner, giving Argentina its record 30th Copa America title, easily the most ever. Greg Thompson, Fox News.
At the Euro soccer tournament, Spain edged England 2-1 in the final. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 7:05. I'm Andrew Derminio. Right now it's 70 degrees under cloudy skies. Your full weather forecast is coming up. This update brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net. Once again, residents across the central New York area are going to be dealing with dangerous heat over the next couple of days. The National Weather Service says a heat advisory is going to be in effect starting at noon today through 8 p.m. tomorrow night. It is predicted that heat index values will be between 90 and 100 degrees in multiple counties. It's recommended people stay indoors and drink plenty of fluids to stay hydrated. The latest forecast and alerts can be found at NOAA.gov. That's NOAA.gov, or you can keep it to WIBX950.com. Two local lawmakers are reacting to a shooting over the weekend that injured former President Donald Trump. Trump was holding a campaign event in Pennsylvania Saturday when he was struck in the ear by a bullet fired by 20-year-old Thomas Crooks, who was attempting to assassinate him. Crooks was killed by Secret Service agents, and a person in the crowd also died. 22nd District Congressman Brandon Williams said the incident is terrible for our country, while State Senator John Mannion says he condemns political violence. Oswego police have arrested a suspect in connection with a homicide that happened in their city. Officers were called to a home on West Schuyler Street Saturday. After getting a report, an unconscious female needed medical attention. The woman was pronounced dead by first responders, and 35-year-old Ricky Colon was taken into custody. He's now charged with murder, assault, and evidence tampering. The name of the victim has not been released. Area drivers are finding consistent prices at the pump when it comes time to fill up their vehicle. According to AAA, the average cost for a gallon of regular fuel is $3.59. That is the same as it was last week and is just 1 penny higher than this time 1 month ago. Right now, the state average is $3.63 a gallon, and nationally, it is sitting at $3.52. A former contestant on the hit singing show The Voice has been added to the list of performers at the Great New York State Fair. Tom Nitti is set to take the Chevy Court stage on Thursday, August 29th at 1 p.m. Before appearing on season 24 of The Voice, Nitti served with the New York State Police for 9 years and was in the military, where he earned a Purple Heart. His concert will be free because it's included as part of daily admission to the fair, which starts on August 21st. And the majority of Americans say inflation is a very serious problem. That's according to a recent YouGov poll, which found that voters are more likely to approve of Donald Trump's handling of the issue rather than President Biden's. The survey also found that for Democrats, the most serious issues that the country faces are gun violence and climate change. Republicans ranked inflation and illegal immigration as their top concerns. It is 7:08. Your weather forecast is brought to you by Wheelock Disposal, local, reliable, affordable trash service. For today, we can expect maybe a rain shower or thunderstorm, otherwise partly sunny skies with a high near 90. We do have that heat advisory in effect from noon today until 8 p.m. tomorrow. Showers and thunderstorms possible overnight, cloudy with a low in the low 70s. Slight chance of rain and thunderstorms tomorrow, otherwise partly sunny with highs in the upper 80s. Right now, 70 under cloudy skies at 7:09. Sports brought to you by IBEW NECA 43 local contractors. The Yankees were unable to close out the sweep after falling to the Baltimore Orioles 6-5 at Camden Yards. Clay Holmes blew his 6th save of the year, and I saw him warming in the bullpen in between innings at the top of the 9th, and I thought, oh, here we go again. He was charged with the loss after allowing 3 unearned runs, 2 on 2 hits and 2 walks in the bottom of the 9th. Ben Bryce, however, blasted a go-ahead 3-run homer in the top half of the inning. New York is second in the AL East at 58-40 going into the All-Star break. When they return, they will play the Tampa Bay Rays at Yankee Stadium on Friday. The Rockies salvaged their series finale against the Mets after earning an 8-5 win at Citi Field. Jose Quintana suffered his 6th loss of the season after allowing 5 runs on 6 hits over 5 2/3 innings pitched. Pete Alonso prepped for the home run derby after going deep for the 19th time this season. New York is 3rd in the NL East, climbing higher over 500 at 49-46. When they return from the All-Star break on Friday, they'll visit the Miami Marlins at Lone Depot Park. Locally, with regard to the Mets, a big-time star pitcher made another rehab start for Syracuse. Yesterday, Kodai Senga was on the mound at NBT Bank Stadium for the Syracuse Mets and went 4 2/3 innings and gave up just 1 run and 2 hits on 66 pitches. Senga has not made a start in the major leagues this season as he recovers from an injury. Syracuse ended up losing the contest yesterday to the Scranton Wilkes-Barre Rail Riders and had their 4-game winnings streak snapped. Other sports news we have for you today in the world of football. Super Bowl 47 standout Jacoby Jones has died. He was only 40 years old. No cause of death was released. Jones spent 9 seasons in the NFL for the Texans, Ravens, Chargers, and Steelers, and had a huge game in Super Bowl 47, wherein the Ravens beat the San Francisco 49ers 34-31. Golf over the weekend, Robert McIntyre celebrating his 2nd career tour victory after winning the 2024 Genesis Scottish Open. Ryan Blaney celebrating his 2nd NASCAR Cup Series victory of the season following a win in the Great American Getaway 400 at Pocono Raceway. And Carlos Alcaraz is the men's single champion at Wimbledon once again. 3-seeded Carlos Alcaraz beat 2-seeded Novak Djokovic in straight sets to win his 2nd straight Wimbledon title. It is 7:11.
Oh, boy. Ton of comments here this morning. Mike says, while Tom is right about the 223 round and the tumbling, it's the tumbling that actually makes it so dangerous. You can fire an M16 and hit somebody in the chest, and it will tumble all through their body and come out in a completely different place. So I'm not sure, Tom, you're absolutely correct on the way the AR-15 works.
And it is a very high velocity weapon,
Yeah.
which I've been told
I mean,
is
the fact that-
what makes it so dangerous.
The fact that he was able to take that shot from that building that apparently Secret Service didn't think was any bit of a threat is nuts. And Wayne says Trump is already famous, but being shot and living through it puts you at another level, like 50 Cent.
Which 50 Cent also had a concert over the weekend.
50 Cent,
excuse me. He had a concert over the weekend, and the backdrop of the concert was so there's an album that 50 Cent has.
50 Cent.
50 Cent has. It's Get Rich or Die Trying. And on that song, in that album, he has songs about talking about his own experience by getting shot. Well, he had superimposed Trump's head on his body on that album cover.
Oh, that's wild. Here's Mike and Skyler, who's still waiting. Michael, good morning. Good morning.
How you doing? I will say just two first before I talk about what I wanted to talk about. Hey, when I saw that this weekend with Trump, it was so shocking. I couldn't even believe I was watching something that was real. Because you think to yourself, how could the Secret Service even let something like that happen? And
I don't understand it.
Then the realization of it's amazing. No, I wanted to comment. Now, a lot of people, they want to blame Clay Holmes for that loss with Baltimore, but you know what? He's the fourth to blame. I blame three other things after what happened yesterday in that game.
Oh, it was embarrassing.
Well, first thing, and here's the thing. I mean, the Yankees are losing most of that game. Okay, then Ben Rice comes in, and the rookie gets a 3-run home run, and they take the lead in the ninth.
A two-run lead. Yes,
he does that in the ninth, and then in that ninth inning, first you got Volpe. He makes. I mean, I thought it was over. The ball's hit the Volpe. He makes a
routine ground ball that he could have thrown to any base. Yes,
that's right. That's the first thing, and then Verdugo. He misreads the ball. He's going forward. He should have went back. And both of those guys are good fielders.
He tripped over his own feet. Yeah. Well, it was the most embarrassing thing to watch. It was literally awful.
And then the third one to blame was Boone. Because I think Cousins, who came in there, he was doing good. I know you got to put that closer in, but I don't know. I think, the thing, and then Holmes. But think about this. Holmes struck out the Henderson guy, too.
Yeah. I would say, you guys, we are at the All-Star break. And I would simply say August is going to be another month where you're going to be complaining back and forth. But the only thing that really matters for the Yankees is how they're playing in September
and the trade deadline. And the trade deadline. And, here's the thing, though, Mike. While I agree there was some bonehead, it comes down to pitching. And the fact that he's blown that was his sixth save. He's the most blown games in the league as far as closers go. That's his sixth. It comes down to pitching. He should have never walked the bases. He gave up the hit, and he walked the bases full. So,
I get it. And here's the thing. And the thing that sucks, too, is when you're a closer, you're going to get credit for that loss. But the thing is, I believe me, I'm the first one to jump on Holmes because I can't see even when you see him going out there. But that one, I was just so frustrated with.
You know what I'm going to do? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give Andrew Mike's phone number, and then you two talk about this because I am not interested.
Even though you're a darn Mets fan, there are plenty of Yankees fans out there that agree.
All I'm saying
he
is
texts me in the middle of a game and complains to me, and I complain right back to him.
Yeah, Davey. Yeah, so the three of you need to get on a group call. It'll be awesome.
How about the Orioles? The Orioles and the Yankees. It's almost like their rivalry because it
was a brawl Friday night.
Yeah, it's a big rivalry this year. That's for darn sure.
I remember the Benitez. They were showing that because the Benitez brawl. But you know where this all stems back from? You know, the very first thing I think to start the Orioles Yankees brawls, 1996. Joey Mayer stole that home run, or he created the home run that Jeter hit. Remember that little boy. He put his hand up and he took the ball. That was the 96 World Series, before the 96. The Orioles and the Yankees were in the playoffs. You remember that?
I don't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday. So, no. All right, Mike. That's where it all began. That's where it began with Baltimore. All right, Mike. Thank you, man. Go Yankees. Go
Last
Yankees.
thing I'll say on Holmes on it is that
Please,
he threw
don't say
more.
anymore.
If you're a closer,
Yeah.
you shouldn't have a higher ball to strike ratio than strike to ball ratio. That's all I'm saying.
How much money should you keep in your checking account? That's what we're going to talk about coming up. Believe it or not, you might be a bit surprised by this. And later on in the hour, how do police train for an event like the Boilermaker, or if you're bringing in Trump for a rally? How do police prepare to make sure everybody is protected, everybody is safe? We'll get to that later in the hour. And Hobica's free money question of the day coming up at WIBX.
If you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music,
This is Mommy's jam.
then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Are you sick of being just a number or doing a mindless job? Become a craftsman in a trade. Become an IBEW electrician. The IBEW and the Electrician Training Alliance will give you all the tools necessary at their state-of-the-art training facility. Earn as you learn. Paid training while you get your certification. What are you waiting for? Become an IBEW Local 43 electrician. Call or go online today to learn more. Find your career at IBEW and let the Electrician Training Alliance light up your future.
Ready to hit the road with confidence this summer? Look no further than Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your one-stop shop for top quality tires at unbeatable prices. Now through September 2nd, get up to $130 back on a Firestone Visa prepaid card when you buy a set of 4 eligible Firestone tires. Or buy 4 eligible Bridgestone tires and get up to $140 back on a Bridgestone Visa prepaid card. Experience the thrill of savings on every mile. To learn more and to schedule an appointment, visit tallmanstire.com.
Are you ready to beat the heat and get fit? Hi, this is Lisa from Fit Body Boot Camp in Whitesboro and in Clinton. At Fit Body Boot Camp, the environment is cool and the workouts are hot. My team of Rockstar certified coaches promise that you'll leave feeling sweaty. Nope, not because of the heat, but because of our invigorating workouts designed to provide you with unbelievable energy and strength. But how do you get started? Well, I'll make it real easy for you. All you need to do is call us at 315-725-3789 or find us on Facebook and sign up for 3 free sessions.
Go BOGO crazy at My Carl's. Buy one, get one half off. The combinations are endless. In stock, fast delivery, plus no credit needed financing. Go BOGO today only at My Carl's and the new Hartford Shopping Center.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Zero Foxtrot isn't just a brand, it's a way of life. Founded and operated by veterans, Zero Foxtrot's unique apparel and gear echoes the grit of the warrior culture. Zero Foxtrot dedicates itself to producing content, honoring the sacrifices of forgotten heroes of the past, and connecting history to the present. Embark on a journey with Zero Foxtrot today at zerofoxtrot.com. It's not merely our products, it's about the ethos that we embody. Rugged, resilient, and timeless.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, Mike Dendy is a personal finance expert, and the question is, how much money should you, and is it safe to, and is it responsible to, how much money is it should be in your checking account? And Bill is on the line right now. Bill Dendy, good morning.
Good morning. And that's a great question. I mean, you got to have at least enough to cover the checks you write.
Right, that's
I guess
true.
everybody can agree on that.
Yes.
Good point, Bill. Thank you.
And it's not even the checks you write today. It's what you are drawing off, because a lot of times you're dealing with the electronic draws off your account.
Oh, yeah.
And you forget one of those and you go negative.
Mm-hmm.
What does the bank want to do? They want to charge you more money that you don't have. So you got to at least keep that covered. But it's become a more serious question because interest rates have moved up so much that it used to not matter if you had a whole bunch in the checking account because you couldn't earn a whole lot elsewhere.
Right.
But now the money market accounts, the savings accounts are paying 4 to 5%, and the checking accounts are still lots of times paying 0 to 1%.
Yeah. So make a little bit
more meaningful.
Yeah.
It depends on how much you have overall, but when I talk to a person who says, well, I'm carrying about $100,000 in my checking account.
What?
It's like, well, that's probably too much to have in a checking account. I mean, you might want to consider making a move with some of that.
So even, and it's so easy today to move money back and forth in your checking account to another account you have with that bank.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there's an app
nowadays.
usually.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in today's world, with the combination of automatic overdraft protection, so that even if you did mess up in your checking account, it will automatically come from the savings account and save the day.
Yeah.
There is no reason to be carrying larger balances, yet it's something that happens all the time where people just get comfortable putting money into the checking account, especially those who are in the retirement. It seems that that's just a convenience factor.
Well, it's nice when you have like $85,000 in your checking account that you can give when your grandkid has been abducted and they use AI but because the grandkid hasn't been abducted, but they think it has been because some scammer, or you come up with some investment. I mean, you're better off having a few steps in between before you end up being able to access that money. I don't think that's a bad thing either.
Well, I agree with you. And, that romantic interest that suddenly came up having me that you've never met yet because they live in Ukraine or something. I mean, things like that.
Fly me to America. I need $500,000.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Yes, go ahead.
But, overall, I think it's a good time for people to be reminded that it's wise to take a look at your overall asset allocation and balance. And in that overall allocation, there is a portion that has to be absolutely liquid to cover the daily expenses of a check. We also have those that's a little bit deeper, but still pretty liquid, like the savings account. But then we get into the next levels, like the time of the CDs or the bonds. And as interest rates look like they're going to be able to be lowered by the Fed, the markets already started to lower interest rates. And we want to make sure that people don't miss a window. It may be a closing window of opportunity of being able to get 4 and 5%. Because if we go back to where it was just a couple of years ago, we're looking at not high rates of returns on these fixed income investments. So it's a good time to revisit allocation, especially if we got too much in the markets.
All right, one more for you, Bill. I would ask you, on average in America, what does the average American have in their, how much do they have in their checking account?
Well, the median, half people have more, half the people have less, is about $2,800.
Wow.
And that's not a whole lot to have in checking if your monthly expenses are running $4,000 or $5,000.
Right.
But it really depends on how much you're spending per month as to what you should keep there. And it's probably a month or two max in the checking. The rest should probably be getting some interest.
All right, good stuff. Interesting, as always. We appreciate it. Bill Dendy, thank you. We'll do it again.
God bless you.
Have a great day. I have not been blessed. Over the weekend, we learned a couple people died.
This is, I mean, it was, they usually come in threes, but in this case, I think it came in fours with celebrity deaths.
So who died?
You had Richard Simmons.
I know that.
Dr. Ruth.
I have that.
Shannon Doherty.
Oh, I can't believe she died.
53.
I just saw that.
I think she had cancer. And there was
she had breast cancer.
Yeah, and there was a fourth. I forget who.
A guy that played on Hill Street Blues and Doogie Howser died this morning at 90 years old.
Well, this morning, that's 5, but there was a fourth.
He's 90 but I mean, I think the Doherty thing, was she even 50 yet?
She was 53.
53.
She got diagnosed with breast cancer back in 2013.
Okay, I didn't know that. Dr. Ruth, at least there are two people.
Oh, and Shelley Duvall.
Shelley Duvall, yeah. Well, that happened later in the
later in the week,
last week.
Still.
Man, I went back and listened to that interview of her with Dr. Phil. Oh, boy.
Yeah, wasn't she smoking a cigarette during the interview?
She might have been, but beyond that, she's talking about just some of the craziest things. And Dr. Phil's just going on like everything's normal. You're not exploiting this person. Oh, boy. Dr. Ruth Westheimer, who was a regular on my show back in the 90s. We would have her once every couple of weeks, and she'd give her sexual advice. And then she had her TV show. She was huge, Dr. Ruth. Everybody went to her. She didn't look overly sexual, did she?
No, that's the thing.
Dr. Ruth, expert on everything about sex, died at 96 years old. Her frank approach to the facts of life, dispensed on radio and television and in books, revolutionized the way Americans viewed their mating habits. Here is, do I have any audio on her? I guess I don't. Either way, she was something special. And then, I guess I do have a little bit. Let's listen to this.
This book, what it will do is it actually will arouse a woman. And I would say to women all over the world, read it, use it in your own mind, and then spin off your own fantasies.
So there she's talking about the book 50 Shades of Grey. So she was still getting into it. I mean, she was still giving advice.
Sexual expert or Bond villain.
And then Richard Simmons passed away Saturday, a day after his 76th birthday.
Yeah, he was.
The end of his life has been really weird, right? You don't know if he's okay.
He almost became a recluse for the last decade. And he had skin cancer, which is, I'm told by medical experts, one of the worst kinds.
He said in a social media post back in March that he was dying. Here are some moments. And again, Richard Simmons, somebody we had on the radio semi-regularly. I remember asking Richard Simmons back in, it was like 93, the very personal question, are you heterosexual or are you gay? This was right around the time of, maybe Ellen DeGeneres and all that stuff coming out. It was a big story in the news of who was and was not. People were coming out. And Richard Simmons never did come out. And it said, I'll talk about anything, any question you ask, but I will not talk about that. And he never answered it. And I don't know to this day if we know that information about him.
He may have just been, as some people call, asexual.
Yeah, maybe. Here's some audio on Richard Simmons.
Are you ready to tone? Well, let's warm up those muscles.
Get your chia in shape with Richard Simmons Chia Pet. Just spread the seeds.
Come on, we all know the answer, right?
Water and watch it grow.
Take us through a typical day. You get up, what time does your day begin? What time do you start?
4:30 or 5.
Mm-hmm. And what do? Go to Tune Up Masters and get oiled up? I do care.
This stuff on no. It's just let's make fun.
No,
it's
sorry.
pin the tail on Dickie. That's what it is.
For all the people that are worrying about me, I want to tell them that I love them with my whole heart and soul. And that not to worry, Richard's fine. You haven't seen the last of me. I'll come back, and I'll come back strong.
That was Richard Simmons in 2016 letting everybody know that he was okay and not being held against his will.
Yeah, there was all sorts of rumors. There were also rumors that he had become morbidly obese. Which would not have been the Richard Simmons we all know.
Shannon Doherty, as you said, lost her battle with cancer on Saturday. She was only 53. She was first diagnosed with breast cancer in 2015, went into remission 2 years later. Last year, she announced it had spread to her brain. Letterman posted this upbeat clip of Shannon Doherty on his show back in 2008.
Well, I have horses, so I ride my horses. It's actually amazing that I was able to walk out here.
What kind do you
Well,
have?
they're really big. They're Holsteiners and Hanoverians.
Oh, the Hanoverians are enormous, aren't they?
Enormous. And I hadn't ridden in a couple of months because I hadn't had time, and I went out and I rode 2 of my horses in a row, and by the time I got off, I couldn't walk, and it still feels like I have, this 1,800-pound animal, like, between my legs. And
Wow. Well, I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
But is it because you hadn't ridden in a while?
It's
Is
because
that
I
what it is?
hadn't ridden in a while, so I'm a little sore. I'm going to stop.
53 years old.
Very sad.
Yeah. California woman was arrested last Thursday and accused of stealing from a TJ Maxx location. And you ask, well, why did they arrest her?
Well, because she stole.
Yeah, but, in this day and age, don't we just say, hey, stop, don't do it again, and let them go?
Yeah.
Well, it turns out...
Sometimes we'd let them keep the merchandise, too.
The reason California police took this so seriously is this was her 30th time stealing from the very same TJ Maxx.
When I was working in retail, they used to have a hallway as you were going to punch in or clock into your shift.
And they'd have pictures.
They'd have pictures of the people to watch out for. The regulars.
It was the Hall of Hoodlums.
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah.
Yep.
Here is City Prosecutor Douglas Hubert talking about the accusations against Florence Leslie Miller, a habitual thief at this TJ Maxx.
In my 25 years as a city prosecutor, I've never seen a case with 30 counts. I've never seen a person go this long without being caught. The police reports showed a pattern of a person entering a store, spending very little time on the floor of the store, grabbing merchandise and simply walking out.
Price of a U.S. stamp is now up to 73 cents.
Woo.
As of today, the price goes up. They're now 73 cents. January 1st, 2023, they were 60 cents. Here's a man out of Kansas that is really not pleased with the price increase.
It's like everything else. Prices are going up, and for somebody on a fixed income like me, it's just getting worse and worse. And not just stamps, but food. And I don't drive, but I saw gas may go up again very soon.
He doesn't drive, so he doesn't buy the gasoline.
He just mails everything.
But, and sometimes he'll mail himself and from getting to point A to point B.
I got to get myself in a flat rate box.
And if this isn't ironic, I don't know what is. A tractor trailer hauling 46,000 pounds of beef crashed through a Wendy's in Pennsylvania on Friday morning. Here is one of the tow truck drivers talking about what went down.
Thankful it was early in the morning and nobody was coming through the intersection or nobody in the restaurant.
Now, I don't know if you realize that was actually Joe Biden driving that truck.
Here's your delivery.
There you go. Okay, so that's what's going on here for Monday morning. Coming up, we'll speak with Steve Houck. How do police agencies deal with big events like the Boilermaker? And was twice, I think, we had the former president come here, Trump come here. How did they handle that? How do you protect him? What did they do wrong in Pennsylvania? We'll speak with Steve Houck coming up in a few minutes. Plus, I have audio and some released audio that is isolated audio of Secret Service and what they were saying during all of this as it went down. And one of the quotes that you had was,
oh, my God.
There was one of the Secret Service agents, a woman.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
What's the plan?
I thought they already had a plan in place. Makes you really wonder. Davey, let's do Hobaika's free money question of the day. This morning, we're giving away how much money?
$100.
Wah, wah.
Maybe we'll bill as the week goes on. So for $100...
Oh, I like that. 1 to 5.
For $100, what caller number are you looking for?
Caller 6.
Sixth caller right now at 315-736-0186. Caller number 6 right now. Your chance to win from Hobaika and WIBX.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton of Hilton Estate and Elder Law with important information that you should know regarding your estate planning. Specifically, you should have prepared what is known as the Big Three. Basic estate planning is comprised of the three main documents that you need. First is the will, next is the healthcare proxy, and last is the power of attorney. What most people don't know is how important of the three the power of attorney really is, because New York State has no simple method for you to act on another's behalf if they become incapacitated. I am often asked, what is probate and why is it needed? Probate is the act of administering the will through the New York State court system. It requires a filing fee and other actions to be taken, as well as a petition to be filed. It is time-consuming and can be expensive. It can be avoided by using a living trust. To find out more about strategies to protect your loved ones through proper estate planning, contact us at Hilton Estate and Elder Law. Call for more information and to schedule an in-person meeting to answer your questions.
Hilton, you know the name. They know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law.
Wow. Biden's at it again.
Inflation, rising costs for everything. What now?
Try big government control of our Medicare drug benefit.
The more I hear, the more it seems we can't afford Biden's Medicare agenda.
They're right. And it's because seniors are already feeling the pain of Biden's drug coverage changes, with almost 2 million forced from their plans and spiked premiums for nearly 5 million more. Now, Congress wants to expand the Biden Medicare agenda even more. But studies show Biden's plan will restrict access, shrink coverage, and limit availability of needed drugs for all seniors. Thankfully, Congresswoman Elise Stefanik is a champion for Medicare drug coverage. Call her at 202-224-3121. Urge her to stop Biden's radical Medicare changes by opposing H.R. 4895 now. Paid for by Seniors for Better Care.
Investing involves risk, including possible loss of principal. Income may be subject to state, local, or alternative minimum tax. Did you know that municipal bonds are a way for investors to support civil projects while earning federally tax-free income? The Erie Canal, which led to the expansion of the United States into the Midwest in the 1800s, was financed with municipal bonds. Are you looking to bridge the gap between the income of your working years and the income needed in retirement? Municipal bonds might provide the solution you're looking for. Henyon & Walsh is a leading specialist in tax-free municipal bonds and has provided investors with quality service and personal attention since 1990. Call now to receive their informative bond guide absolutely free. Dial 1-800-761-9761 to learn how to earn retirement income while keeping your taxes at bay. Just dial 1-800-761-9761 for a copy of their informative bond guide for free. No cost, no obligation. 1-800-761-9761. Henyon & Walsh Inc., member of FINRA and SIPC.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TURN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TURN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TURN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hey folks, Donald Trump Jr. here. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the whole story. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back. But what you can do is stop your losses today. How? By diversifying your savings into a gold IRA from my friends at the Birch Gold Group. When you're done, your money will be parked in a tangible asset with proven history. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word HEDGE to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust. They provide an easy process to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold without losing your tax advantage status. So text HEDGE to 989898. That's HEDGE to the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
Message and data rates may apply.
If you love them enough to turn off your music
and pretend like their music is your music.
Ah, this is Mommy's jam.
Then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Ready to hit the road with confidence this summer? Look no further than Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your one-stop shop for top quality tires at unbeatable prices. Now through September 2nd, get up to $130 back on a Firestone Visa prepaid card when you buy a set of 4 eligible Firestone tires. Or buy 4 eligible Bridgestone tires and get up to $140 back on a Bridgestone Visa prepaid card. Experience the thrill of savings on every mile. To learn more and to schedule an appointment, visit Tallman'sTire.com.
We're your neighbors, friends, and your family. We care about our community, your...
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, so I don't know why this song does this to us every time. It's just
a lot of these
song.
bumpers do.
It's crazy. John is in New Hartford, ready to take a shot at Habaika's free money question of the day. John, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How you doing today?
How you doing? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm at the Ray Hill Trail waiting to get out of here. I fell asleep during all the commercials, but, ready to get up.
Well, listen, you and I have something in common. So did I.
Which is why we had so many.
All right, here we go. You know the deal. It's from Habaika, Joseph, and Andrew at 315-724-1600 for all of your legal needs. And we throw a question out. This one was worth a C note here this morning, and it's doable. I think it's completely doable. Are you ready to go?
No, I'm ready.
Okay, here we go with the question. 7 seconds to answer. And it is, what was the real name of Richard Simmons? Ready, go.
I just saw that on the news. Not going to do it.
Not going to do it. Boy, that one was...
It's a toughie.
Well, but it was all over the news. Milton was the first name. Milton Teagle Simmons. Yeah.
Milton Teagle?
Teagle, but all you needed was Milton. Teagle is the middle name. Yeah. I've never heard of that either.
Milton Simmons.
Yeah, but Milton was was his real name. Richard Simmons, dead at the age of whatever. What did we say it was?
76. I can get that right.
76. You got that part right. You kind of knew I'd be going with something with Richard Simmons or maybe even Dr. Ruth. Okay, we'll give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's a $25 gift card from the Comets, the Babes, which does an amazing... Actually, they were catering the VIP section over at the Boilermaker yesterday.
Oh,
did a great job. Stoney and everybody. Babes, Aquavino, Taylor and the Cook, Inside the Awe, the Nexus Center, all of that. It's a $25 card, which is nice because it can be used at more than one place. So stand by. Davey's going to work that out. We'll send it to you, okay?
Okay, thank you very much, guys. Have a good day here.
You do the same. Thank you so much. Milton Teagle, Teagle Simmons. Where was he born?
That I don't know.
Where was he from? New Orleans.
New Orleans?
He was New Orleans. And I had one more question that I was potentially going to run with. There were a whole bunch of these Richard Simmons questions. And you know what? He never did come out and explain his sexuality. Never. Was always asked, said that it was nobody's business. I kind of felt when he came out in a flamingo type dress and all that, that might have been an answer, but apparently not. No, I mean, you can wear whatever you want. It doesn't mean anything about
You can't judge a fitness model by their tights.
You cannot. On the line, or in studio right now, is Steve Houck. Steve, good morning.
Morning.
So, a couple of blasts from the past, though, that passed away. Richard Simmons and then Dr. Ruth.
Shannon Doherty.
And then Shannon Doherty.
And, yesterday or day before yesterday.
And then before that, Shelley Duvall, who had gone off a bit of the deep end, I'm afraid. So speaking of that, somebody had said earlier, it was Ann who said, we have to keep guns away from the mentally ill. Well, that's easy to say, but it's not easy to accomplish necessarily.
No, especially since, I mean, just specifically mentally ill, how many people have mental disorders, whether it be long-term or short-term, that go unidentified. So that in and of itself is,
and
is a real issue.
If you recall with the New York SAFE Act, all of a sudden we started pointing out people who had, quote, mental illness, that we were taking their guns away. And it became a huge legal battle, and many of those people got their guns back. So who gets to decide? You know, there are a lot of people that could look afar and say that person is messed up in the head. Who gets to decide? Where do you draw the line? These are not easy questions.
Right. They have these red flag things now where, you know, which you could see could easily be abused.
Could be abused. Yep.
The way I look at it when it comes to, because we've talked about this for how long with, you know, restricting gun usage and rights and all those other sorts of things. I look at it this way. The purpose behind it is to reduce the number of shootings. So if that's what you're trying to do, then everybody needs to get their head together and say, what's the best possible way to do that? Just restricting gun rights won't do it, because the only thing it does is keep people that can legally carry guns or should be able to legally carry guns can't do it, because the people that want to get illegal guns will still get illegal guns.
And
so you got to find a way to do that.
Let's not forget about this. There are plenty of laws, and you know the outcome. I would think most people would know the outcome. If you take a ladder to a political rally, you put it up against a building, you climb up on top, you take that legal gun that you have, you point it at anyone, but let's say it's pointed at a political candidate, such as Donald Trump, and you pulled the trigger. There are many laws that have been broken there. So you're already realizing the person who is committing the crime is not going to follow.
Yeah, they're not concerned about
they're
the
not
legal
concerned about the
ramifications.
laws.
Right.
And clearly this kid had to be not worried about the fact that he's probably going to get hit by a sniper.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I spoke with Andrew quickly before I came in. I've been reading a lot this morning, and you know, I consumed a lot of media yesterday. And a little bit of a blame game going on now between the Secret Service and the state police. And one of the things that was reported this morning was that some of the attendees there early pointed out this kid. Apparently he tried to get in around metal detectors with the rifle, and they pointed him out. And apparently the locals dispatched over the radio to Secret Service to look for him. So it sounds like they were trying to. And he was seen going roof to roof, is what they're claiming. So,
well, there are. Let me play some audio.
And then I want to ask about that. Maybe you can clear up any misconception about crossing of channels between interagency communication and the lack thereof. Maybe
here's I mentioned the BBC story. A reporter nabbed an interview with a man named Greg Smith, a Trump rally attendee, who said he warned police of the gunman on the roof, but everybody ignored him.
We noticed the guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building, 50 feet away from us. We're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof. He had a rifle. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. He's crawling. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for 2-3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
Now, you're hearing audio here, and I just want to put this interview in perspective. So the man, his name is Greg, who you just heard from, he's the one that went to police and said, there's a man on the roof. Greg is wearing a visor, one of those with the clear plastic, like tinted color. You're familiar, plastic visor, with fake Trump red hair popping out of the top.
Yeah, I saw the video.
You wonder why police are like, okay, we'll talk to you later.
Well, you're missing the best part is that on the top of his visor, he has Trump 2020. The zeros crossed out with a marker, and he wrote 4 in. So
okay.
You're right.
So,
that could have been the reason why he was ignored. But.
And here's the other part of this is if you're police and it's not coordinated, and this is one of the questions that Andrew's asking. So state police, local police, probably sheriff's department involved, You have Secret Service. I don't know, is FBI there in some capacity, maybe. But you have all these agencies, and unless they're all talking to each other, I would think that if I'm a local cop and somebody says there's a man on the roof with a gun, I would automatically assume that he was there with Secret Service, that he was a sharpshooter that was protecting, not ready to take a shot. So I think that's where your first confusion probably comes in. And then you add to the fact that the guy is wearing, he looks like a clown. But it's easy to be mistaken here.
Right. And if the reports this morning are accurate, that it sounds like they had even more warning that they were looking for this guy prior to him being on the roof. But we'll see how that all pans out. But I know some people over the last few days have said to me, well, why didn't those snipers that were on the roof that we've seen the video of many times, why didn't they take the shot?
Before he took a shot.
Right. It seems to me they identified something downrange because you can see that they're looking. But you have to put yourself in the position of those two officers. You're there. You see a target which is outside of the perimeter, which is a whole issue in and of itself, why that building would be considered outside the perimeter.
Yeah.
And you're taking aim. You're not able to really see much. He's in the prone position. So you're seeing a rifle, and even with binoculars, you're trying to identify what you don't shoot something you don't identify as a shooter. So a sniper, they don't miss. So when they shoot, they kill. So they don't fire warning shots. So they're probably trying to get people on the ground to give them information and trying to say the building over there, because they don't want to take that shot and be wrong, and then they kill another officer.
So the first mistake, though, is why wasn't that in the perimeter?
It makes no sense. I've looked at the Google Maps just like everything else and everybody else, and I don't understand why a close proximity. And I know you had a call on this morning that was saying that would be a very long shot for that type of rifle. It's not.
No, I've had plenty of other people say that is not true.
No, somebody that had even a little bit of skill, even with an iron sight, not even a scope, just an iron sight, could make that shot very easily.
Yeah.
I mean, just to give you some context, we train for accuracy at 50 yards with a handgun to shoot a small target from 50 yards with a handgun. So you take a stationary position, a prone position with a firm surface to set your rifle on. Easy shot, easy shot.
I want to play. This is audio from the podium microphone that caught the sounds of Trump being surrounded by Secret Service agents and him deciding to raise his fist in a show of defiance. You're also going to hear an agent saying, "What are we doing?
This is mind blowing."
And I want your take on it.
Take a look at what happened.
On you.
Ready?
Move.
Up.
Move. Go.
Up. Hawkeye's here. Hawkeye's here. Move it to the stair.
Are we good?
Shooters down.
Shooters down. Are we good to move?
Shooters down. We're good to move. We're clear.
Let's move. Let's move.
We're clear.
Come on.
Let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes.
I got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we got to move to the bus. Move to the bus. Let me get my shoes. Okay. My shoes down. Wait.
So you hear the wait, and that is Trump saying, "Wait, let me put my fist in the air and showing defiance." I can't believe Secret Service allowed that to happen, and it happened twice. He popped his head back up. How do you know at that point, in all the chaos, that there's only one shooter?
You don't. Especially with that, the way it was set. And of course, if there's one, you have to assume there's two.
Multiple rules broken here by Secret Service.
Yeah, the thing is I watched a lot over the last few days, and the Secret Service director is taking a lot of heat. I did read when I went back because I don't necessarily trust everything you hear.
Can't.
I want to go back.
You don't say.
I want to read it and I want to hear it. So I did watch some of her statements that she made about diversity, equity, inclusion, and wanting to increase the ranks of the Secret Service to 30% by 2030. And it seems to be a big push in that direction, which I have no issue with, different genders or races or sexes doing the job. The problem is that in certain situations, in law enforcement specifically, size matters.
Yeah,
so sheer size of a person protecting. President Trump is a big person, so you need someone big. And I saw some of those female agents were 5-0. So you think about it. If you're going to go hire a lineman for the Bills, you don't hire somebody because of necessarily their intellect or because they check a box. They're big and they're going to help protect Josh Allen. So you want someone's size.
If your job with the Secret Service is intel, it's a completely different story.
Yeah, it's not necessarily there's no place for
of course
a female
that's what I'm saying.
in the Secret Service.
That's
but
right.
A protection detail for the president.
Sometimes it's deterrent. I can tell you from my own personal experience, and I had this on the street many times, where we'd be faced with someone who was looking to fight, and they would pick out the smallest cop in the group to go after because they're like, well, I guess I'll just go to him. He's the smallest one. So again, when you have a presence,
sometimes for the record though, that's the worst decision.
It could be. Could absolutely be.
However, if your job is to be a human shield,
right,
and you only come up to the shoulder of the person you're trying to protect, you have a problem.
It's a problem.
Yeah, and that I don't think any of us can argue with. Here's Tom in Utica. Tom, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I was just wanted to make note with Steve's comments that Steve's talking about trained policemen, professionals that get onto a range and make long shots off of whatever kind of stand.
Well, I see where you're.
And the kid, as you called him, is climbing all up over buildings with a gun. He's got adrenaline pumping through him like crazy. You don't know what the windage is on this thing, and I'm going to stick to my guns. 160 yards with a light .22 caliber round. That's a .223 with indefinite crosswinds and the tumble coming into play. Is a long shot. The .223 was made for varmints and not long distance shooting. For long distance shooting, you have to use a heavier. Okay, but that's it.
Let me get to Steve.
Versus amateur.
Okay, what's your take on that, Steve?
Well, I regardless of that, he still did it. So he was able to do it. And honestly, if it wasn't for that last head turn, I told my wife right when I have. So it was sort of an odd story. I have friends who I'm very close with who live out of state now, and their daughter works for a senator, and she was in Milwaukee, and I happened to be on the phone with them, and they got the phone call because they were watching the live feed from the press conference in Milwaukee. So they said, "You're not going to believe it. Trump was shot." I go, "I'm watching the news." And sure enough, within 15 seconds, it pops up.
Yeah, finally.
So
if you're watching cable news, switch over to cable news. They had it before network TV had it. But hang tight, and we're going to bring in Robert Caltabiano, who's a former U.S. Secret Service agent. It'll be interesting to get his take on what happened there. And if you can sit through that,
sure.
I'd like your take on what he has to say. Also, next hour, the one and only Jimmy Fallon.
Fresh off vacation.
Coming on the radio after what happened over the weekend. We'll get to Jimmy and all of that coming up next hour. Stand by. We have news next on WIBX.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome. W295EI. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. A Town Square media station.
2 words. Unite America. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Former President Trump wrote that on Truth Social after surviving an assassination attempt that President Biden also now calling for unity.
You know, the political record in this country has gotten very heated. It's time to cool it down.
Condemning political violence in an Oval Office address last night.
Politics must never be a literal battlefield, and God forbid, a killing field.
The president also said he's grateful that former President Trump was not seriously injured, and the two spoke by phone. The Trump reaction to the call? It was very nice. He's now in Milwaukee to accept his nomination this week and says he's completely rewriting his speech.
The 2024 Republican National Convention is set to be a historic one, and in his first interview since the attempt on his life, former President Trump says it is a miracle that he survived. He told the New York Post in an interview, quote, "The doctor at the hospital said he never saw anything like this. He called it a miracle. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be dead."
That's Fox's Brooke Singman. Now, the Trump rally goer who was killed killed was Corey Comparator, a firefighter Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro calls a hero.
Because when the bullets flew, Comparator laid down his life for his loved ones.
Corey dove on his family to protect them at this rally. Corey was the very best of us.
Governor Shapiro did also reach out to the families of the critically injured rally attendees.
That's Fox's Gernal Scott. The gunman was shot and killed by Secret Service. 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks. Investigators are at his home in Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, where Fox's CB Cotton reports.
Law enforcement sources are telling me the focus is now shifting to gaining access into the shooter's phone. I'm told that federal agents will not feel confident in their assessment that the shooter acted alone until they're able to go in that phone and see who he was communicating with.
And the Secret Service will brief the House Oversight Committee today. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey guys, Donald Trump Jr. here. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than what we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the whole story. Since January 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back, but what you can do is stop your losses today. How? By diversifying your savings into a gold IRA from my friends at Birch Gold Group. When you're done, your money will be parked in a tangible asset with a proven history. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word PROTECT to 989898. I trust Birch Gold. They provide an easy process to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold without losing your tax-advantaged status. So text PROTECT to 989898. That's PROTECT to the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
Message and data rates may apply.
Security. An even bigger focus now at the GOP convention in Milwaukee after the Trump assassination attempt. Republican National Committee Chair Michael Whatley tells Fox News Sunday.
We feel very comfortable that we're working with the Secret Service. We're working with 40 different law enforcement agencies in terms of what that security is going to look like.
Now, convention goers are even more motivated.
Jeremiah Cota from Arizona says after the shooting that targeted former President Trump, the election's even more important.
This is completely unprecedented, and I just can't imagine. We have to get President Trump elected. There's no other option.
Now, as for the GOP's party platform, abortion only gets one mention in the 16-page document. Pro-life activist Terry Herring of Ridgeland, Mississippi, says that is fine by her.
We'd made all that progress. We don't want to lose it. And I just believe that the fight has gone to 50 states. So I think it will become a states' rights issue. That was what we had hoped for.
The border, inflation, and crime are expected to be major themes. In Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Republicans will also be likely critical at the convention of Biden foreign policy as two American adversaries play war games.
A port in China's southern Guangdong province hosts Russian armed forces for this combined exercise. It'll include anti-missile exercises, sea strikes, and air defense. Last week, NATO called China a decisive enabler of Russia's war in Ukraine. Beijing responded by warning the military alliance not to bring chaos to Asia. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
China's economy has slowed down with less growth last quarter than expected, but not an issue on Wall Street. Rising futures suggest big gains this morning for the Dow and the Nasdaq. Carlos Alcaraz won Wimbledon, beating Novak Djokovic for the second straight year to win the title. Argentina topped Colombia 1-0 in the Copa America soccer tournament. Spain beat England in the Euro tournament. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM News Time, 8:05. I'm Andrew Derminio. This update brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. We do have that heat advisory going into effect at noon. We'll give you full details on that coming up. 72 degrees under cloudy skies. Once again, residents across central New York dealing with dangerous heat over the next couple of days. The National Weather Service says the heat advisory will go into effect at noon today through 8 p.m. tomorrow. It's predicted that the heat index values will be between 90 and 100 degrees in multiple counties. It's recommended people stay indoors and drink plenty of fluids to stay hydrated. The latest forecast and alerts can be found at NOAA.gov. We'll keep it posted at WIBX950.com. Two local lawmakers are reacting to a shooting over the weekend that injured former President Trump. Trump was holding a campaign event in Pennsylvania Saturday when he was struck in the ear by a bullet fired by 20-year-old Thomas Crooks, who was attempting to assassinate him. Crooks was killed by Secret Service agents, and a person in the crowd also died. 22nd District Congressman Brandon Williams said the incident is terrible for our country, while State Senator John Mannion says he condemns political violence. Oswego police have arrested a suspect in connection with a homicide that happened in their city. Officers were called to a home on West Schuyler Street Saturday after getting a report an unconscious female needed medical attention. The woman was pronounced dead by first responders, and 35-year-old Ricky Colon was taken into custody, and he's now charged with murder, assault, and evidence tampering. The name of the victim has not been released. Area drivers are finding consistent prices at the pump when it comes time to fill up their vehicle. According to AAA, the average cost for a gallon of regular fuel is $3.59. That is the same as it was last week and is just 1 penny higher than this time 1 month ago. Right now, the state average is $3.63 a gallon, while nationally it's $3.52. A former contestant on the hit singing show The Voice has been added to the list of performers at the Great New York State Fair. Tom Nitty is set to take the stage at Chevy Court on Thursday, August 29th at 1 p.m. Before appearing on season 24 of The Voice, Nitty served with the New York State Police for 9 years and was in the military, where he earned a Purple Heart. His concert will be free because it's included as part of daily admission to the fair, which starts August 21st. And Disneyland will close 6 attractions next month. Park officials say Space Mountain, Disneyland Railroad, Disneyland Monorail, Animation Academy, Turtle Talk with Crush, and Anna and Elsa's Royal Academy will temporarily close in August as part of Disneyland's standard refurbishment schedule. Previous closures include others like the Haunted Mansion and Splash Mountain. That is
so they're not getting rid of
Disneyland.
Space Mountain.
No, they're not. They're this
that would be kind of hard to do.
Disneyland in California.
Is
where the refurbishments will happen.
Disneyland,
as opposed
not
to Disney World. Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
It's 8:08. Your weather forecast is brought to you by Wheelock Disposal, local, reliable, affordable trash service. We do have that heat advisory going into effect at noon until 8 p.m. For today, rain showers, maybe a thunderstorm. We'll see partly sunny skies with a high near 90. Showers and thunderstorms possible overnight, cloudy with a low around 70, then a slight chance of rain with a thunderstorm tomorrow, partly sunny otherwise with a high in the upper 80s. Right now, 72 under cloudy skies, coming up on 8:09. Sports brought to you by IBEW Nika 43 local contractors. Clay Holmes got his 6th blown save of the season as he allowed 3 runs in the bottom of the 9th. The Yankees were unable to close out the sweep, falling to the Orioles 6-5 at Camden Yards. New York goes into the All-Star break at second in the AL East at 58-40. When they return on Friday, they'll host the Tampa Bay Rays at Yankee Stadium. Meanwhile, the Rockies salvaged their series finale against the Mets after earning an 8-5 win at Citi Field. Jose Quintana suffered his 6th loss of the season. After allowing 5 runs on 6 hits over 5 2/3 innings pitched, Pete Alonso prepped for the home run derby, going deep for the 19th time this season. New York is 3rd in the NL East at 49-46. They'll come back from the All-Star break on Friday, visiting the Miami Marlins at Lone Depot Park. Carlos Alcaraz is the men's single champion at Wimbledon once again. 3-seeded Alcaraz beat 2-seeded Novak Djokovic in his in straight sets to win his 2nd straight Wimbledon. On Saturday, 31-seeded Barbara Krejcikova won the women's singles finals in 3 sets over 7-seeded Jasmine Paolini. The NASCAR race over the weekend, Ryan Blaney celebrating his 2nd NASCAR Cup Series victory of the season following a win in the Great American Getaway 400 at Pocono Raceway. Robert McIntyre celebrating his 2nd career Tour victory after winning the 2024 Genesis Scottish Open. He finished atop the leaderboard at 18 under par to win the tournament at the Renaissance Club. And a terrible story out of the NFL. Super Bowl 47 standout Jacoby Jones has died. He was 40 years old. No cause of death was released. Jones spent 9 seasons in the league for the Texans, Ravens, Chargers, and Steelers. The wide receiver punt returner is best known for his 108-yard kickoff return touchdown in the Ravens' 34-31 win over the 49ers in Super Bowl 47. The play is the longest in Super Bowl history. If you're dealing with excruciating pain, I was dealing with foot and ankle inflammation and pain, and Revive Softwave Therapy helped me in just 6 visits. It's an FDA-cleared, non-invasive, and drug-free treatment for chronic pain, inflammation, and joint issues. And it's designed with high-speed sound waves sending your body's natural stem cells and blood flow to the impacted area to promote natural healing. So if you've been going for regular pain injections or you're on pain medication to try to fix your problem, well, why don't you try this alternative method? It's Revive Softwave Therapy on Genesee Street in Utica, 2709 Genesee Street to be exact. It's a very great deal they're going to give you if you mention that you heard about them on the Keeler Show. Your first consultation with one of the doctors will include a softwave therapy treatment, and they'll get you on a treatment and recovery plan and assessment that's right for you. If you need more information or want to see how the treatment is conducted and see some more testimonial video, go to reviveutica.com. That's reviveutica.com. 315-725-8427 is the number, 315-725-8427. Let the healing begin with Revive Softwave Therapy. Dr. Tim Del Medico and his staff on Genesee Street in Utica.
All right, coming up in a second, we'll speak with a former U.S. Secret Service agent. He was a special agent with the Secret Service. We have Steve Houken as well. We'll speak with him about this. Jimmy Fallon coming up in a moment. First, before I break, Jay and Vernon. Good morning, Jay. What's going on?
Morning, gentlemen. Speaking about weapons and stuff, I'm an avid shooter. Me and my grandson, we go to the range once, maybe twice a week. And,
yeah.
I got a box of 22 long rifles, and it says right on the side, which is a rimfire, range 1 mile. I mean, obviously that's how far the bullet will travel. Obviously, you're not going to hit nothing unless you're lucky. But
right.
So who knows what? My grandson, he shoots. We can shoot 20 rounds with a rimfire 22 at 50 yards, and he can hit 18 out of 20 in the target. So,
wow.
I mean, if this kid had any, maybe he did a little practice, but and when you're shooting at somebody, let's face it, I don't think he was aiming at his ear. I mean, obviously, you could be off by thank God he was off, but I mean, you don't have to be dead on. You want to shoot somebody. If you're off 6 inches to the right or left or up and down, it could be fatal. So I don't think that's too far of a shot for that type of gun. I mean, those 22 rimfire will travel a mile. It says right on the box.
And that's the thing. That's the thing, Jay, is
Jay.
I've been told, too, by people who are much more experts than I in the topic, that a lighter caliber bullet or a lighter round itself will naturally travel further because it's just not as heavy.
Sure.
But also, obviously the velocity isn't there. And I mean, if you're shooting through the woods, obviously you're shooting in an open thing through the woods. Obviously, there's branches and stuff that can make a bullet go off target by just hitting it because they travel so fast. But I don't know. I'm sure this ain't the first time this kid picked up this gun and shot it. Who knows? Maybe he did some practicing out in the backyard.
I can't imagine.
Well, Fran texting in this morning, and I'll have to confirm this, and I had heard it, but I didn't know that it was officially reported today that he was a member of a shooting club or a rifle team of some kind.
Right.
Well, there you go. I mean, we shoot. Saturday we went to the range. I went through 250 boxes of rimfire 22s, just having fun and being safe and shooting. And you gotta. And my son grew up with my grandson. We grew up hunting, and we've got gun safety. Everything's under lock and key. But that isn't that far of a shot. That guy that called before. I mean, obviously, you're not going to hit a Kennedy $half at that distance. But to shoot at a human being is
and clearly he wasn't aiming at the ear.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I mean, it was
obviously. I believe the gun just had iron sights. There was no optics on it, but irregardless. And then after that shot, who knows? He probably just was peppering just that. You get a semi-automatic, you can pull the trigger pretty quick and don't even realize you just went through 20 bullets.
Well, and he may have taken a shot that didn't kill him, which that would mean that a shot might be taken that's off target and goes into the crowd. Who knows? But I guess we'll find out.
It's just a scary state of affairs we're going through. I pray
no doubt.
Yeah. Well, I wish you guys the best, and I appreciate your guys' comments.
All right, thank
All
you,
right,
man.
Jay, thanks for calling.
Jay and Vernon, your take on that?
Yeah, I think he's right. I think again, I don't think that's a difficult shot. And again, if you're not really care about what you're shooting at, if you're just looking to put rounds down range, it's not far.
Robert Caltabiano is a former U.S. Secret Service special agent, and he's not on the line. We don't have him. All right, let me tell you, we'll do that next, along with Steve Houck here in studio. It's happening in Herkimer County, and if you'd like to post something that might be your event and you'd like to promote it, Herkimer County's website is accepting currently. That's herkimercounty.org. You can actually post your event on the website. If you have an event that you'd like to advertise, submit it, and it'll be placed on the county's calendar of events. Or if your group is a private, public, civic, fraternal, social, school, religious, nonprofit, for-profit, business, or charity, you can add your event at no cost to their calendar. Through radio and TV advertisements, the public will be directed to go to herkimercounty.org to find out what's happening in Herkimer County. Some events that are going on, of course, the fairs and festivals. The Herkimer County Fair, hard to believe, but it's not that far off. Live music, trivia nights, school events, charity fundraisers, garage sales, celebrations. If it's happening, there's a good chance it's happening in Herkimer County. Go to herkimercounty.org, click on events calendar, and you'll see it all right there. Pretty amazing. There are amazing things happening in Herkimer County, right down to the farmers markets that are going on, the food fest, the food truck events that are happening, and Herkimer Diamonds, or a cruise on the Erie Canal, right off of Waterfront Grill, right there in Herkimer. It's all available. If it's happening in Herkimer County.
Buy one, get one half off. I'm Bo going crazy. Now at My Carl's, when you buy one item, you get a second item for half off. Buy a sofa, get the mansion love seat half off. Buy a recliner, get a second recliner half off. The combinations are endless. Buy a mattress, get an adjustable base half off. Incredible. Plus no credit needed financing and fast delivery. So what are you waiting for? Get Bo going crazy. It's buy one, get one half off only at My Carl's.
Are you ready to beat the heat and get fit? Hi, this is Lisa from Fit Body Boot Camp in Whitesboro and in Clinton. At Fit Body Boot Camp, the environment is cool and the workouts are hot. My team of Rockstar certified coaches promise that you'll leave feeling sweaty. Nope, not because of the heat, but because of our invigorating workouts designed to provide you with unbelievable energy and strength. But how do you get started? Well, I'll make it real easy for you. All you need to do is call us at 315-725-3789 or find us on Facebook and sign up for 3 free sessions.
I'm embarrassed to say this. I've been using deodorant on my armpits for 30 years, and anytime I noticed odor anywhere else, I thought I needed another shower, I wasn't clean, or I felt like there was something wrong with me. And then my gynecologist told me about Lumi. It's a whole body deodorant for pits, feet, and privates that controls odor anywhere and everywhere on your body. Since Lumi, I never have to worry about body odor ever again, anywhere on my body. And that reassurance is worth every penny.
For a limited time, new and returning customers can go to LUMEdeodorant.com and save up to 30% on products like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. Plus, for a limited time, get free shipping when you use the Black Friday and July code listed on site. That's LUMEdeodorant.com to save up to 30% today when you use the discount code listed on site. That's LUMEdeodorant.com. LUMEdeodorant.com. See site for details. That's LUMEdeodorant.com.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, Robert Caltabiano is a former U.S. Secret Service special agent. I'm sure very busy this morning doing the rounds of interviews, considering what happened over the weekend. Also in studio is PD police consultant Steve Houck. Robert, good morning. Thanks so much for coming on.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
So we've talked before, and there's no role, I think, in the United States that is more revered than the Secret Service agent. Are you confident that? Are you comfortable with how everything rolled out over the weekend? Obviously, there was failure, so the answer would be no. I would assume. What's your take?
It's very difficult to assess something when you're not there.
Yeah.
But, and I say with a big but, and I hate that word, some of the process worked, and obviously some didn't. And I think coming out of this, what really a shining light, obviously, in that split second was President Trump. And what I mean by that is, in my view, he helped save his own life. If we watch the video, you notice he touched his ear, and then he put himself down on the ground.
He went down, yeah.
Yes, he wasn't shot and, fell to the ground. And that's a testament of the agents working with him, with other presidents, of educating them. And that process worked. It worked very well. I think that the recovery or getting to the president was very quick. But then your listeners have to understand we have a very strong-willed individual. You've all heard the video of him wanting to get his shoes, standing up. And it's, you only can do what you can do.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
If I was there, would I have liked to have got him off the stage as quick as possible? Yes. But then there's so many things going on. You're reassessing. You see blood. You don't know where he's hit, who else is hit. You're in disbelief. You hear something like firecrackers going off.
Yeah.
And that's all hitting you within a split second. So some things worked, and a lot of things did not.
I still am shocked that they didn't hold him down and prevent him from doing the fist pump in the air. Because there could have been a second shooter. I don't know how they would know there wasn't.
I agree with that, in the ideal world. But again, there's nothing ideal.
Right.
He's just such a strong-willed person. But you're correct. If I was there, I would be worried about if there's another attacker.
Yeah.
And that's why you want to get him out of there as possible into his car, which is the safest environment possible.
Steve Huck.
No, I think you're right. I think that it's always easy when you're on the outside looking in to critique and criticize little nuances of something. But ultimately, I think getting him out of there, although it looked terrible, we're not used to seeing this stuff live on television, from 7 different angles like we have now. And I'm sure in the near future, we're going to see it from how many cell phones that were there.
They're already showing people with views from behind him and people that were taking video footage.
There's one shot of a camera shot of Trump on the ground. You can see between the legs of the Secret Service agent, you can see Trump on the ground. I mean, it really is, it's unbelievable. However, are you fearing at all and while you're going to get a lot of this on social media, it is a positive that is not coming from the 2 candidates, one who's currently president, one who was, but this conspiracy theory stuff that they allowed this to happen, that I'm not hearing that. We're hearing a little bit of it, but do you worry that it's going to become that, almost like a second gunman, grassy knoll issue that we dealt with Kennedy?
I hate people second guessing that and all the and I'll call it the BS that's out there. On that, it's going to happen, like you just said. There's going to be crazies that try to put some type of theory together. I think the theory that we have to look at is, unfortunately, there did not have adequate resources available to them to be able to secure that site. I am wishful and hopeful that it will change. I think it will, because the cat is out of the bag now, so to speak. Unfortunately, but you think about it. We were a centimeter away from a worldwide catastrophe. And it falls on many people's shoulders at this point. But I think, for me, and I'm a student of studying this all these years with people, we have to ask, why did this happen? What led up to this? And there'll be a plethora of reports looking at things. But when you have, and not being political, but I call it like I see it, the current president of the United States using the words bullseye, people in Congress, the visceral hate that has been spread to the former president is unprecedented in times. And all you need is one mentally ill person, just one, to believe all that. And, you know, in my view, could lead to, and I will bet my life on it, and I will say that out here, that this individual who attempted to kill the president probably believes some of that visceral.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, I well, I don't know if it's unfortunate or not. I disagree only in that this horrible speech is coming from both sides. This should be an eye opener for all of us, that we are a better country than this, and we do not operate elections this way. And I just think the rhetoric has got to be cooled down all the way around. That's the only part of this that I would disagree with. I would not disagree that what has been said, the bullseye comment, I don't disagree. That's terrible. It should not be used. You should know enough that language can be misinterpreted. And that's one of the big complaints that the Democrats have had on Trump, that he uses, like, even when he said, I fight, does he mean fight in the streets? Does he mean fight to get me reelected? And it's that type of thing that I think we've got to cool things off here.
No, and I agree with you on that. But the analogy of somebody being shot in
with a bullseye,
So you have got to start looking at the dots and linking some of the things. There's one thing of saying, fight, whether it's right or left. You're absolutely right. But what the hard part is, I think, and I've been around politicians my whole life, is the same people that say certain visceral, when something happens, and now they're the first to say, well wishes. Yeah. And it's, we're all stuck in the middle of this at this point. And it could change a trajectory of elections. Will President Trump now hold outside venues again? Whether the fear from him or his family, it could change. And it all goes back to just one mentally ill individual that changes the trajectory of the world. Just unfortunately, just like we saw in 1981 with Reagan, 1963 with President Kennedy, and the list goes on. President Truman, and so you're 100% right. This is not a right or left situation, but it has to stop.
Well, at some point we got to start remembering our goal is to better America. Not necessarily our standing as our own political standing or our party's political standing. But I think we've lost that. We've lost our way. Maybe this will be the event that changes. I hope it is. Maybe only for a little while, but I hope it is. Andrew.
Robert, I just have one more question about the actual incident the day it happened and advanced teams and how you're based on your knowledge and expertise. Maybe some failures there. I just don't understand how a rooftop that close wasn't secured well in advance or anticipated that there could be an issue there.
I can't get into everything, but I can tell you that the thin line has been stretched so thin with people and adequately trained people. So what happens is during election times, the Secret Service will bring in people from the outside, other federal agencies, to help assist. And usually they put them out, let's say, in the crowds. We call them poststanders. Unfortunately, those people are not really trained as to that type of a law enforcement event. And I can't second guess what happened here, but I fully believe that they did not have enough time to fully assess and do the job that they probably needed. And,
do you think that's
a catastrophic failure?
Do you think that is it's probably a combination? First of all, you mentioned a very strong personality in Trump. If you go back to January 6th, he wanted to actually go to the event, and ultimately they talked him out of it. There are probably things, and in fact, during one of those events, he was it was reported that he felt that based on a Second Amendment right, that people should be allowed to bring guns into the rally. Of course, that was declined and didn't end up happening. So it almost feels like there could be a combination of the former president saying, "No, I want it this way. I want to be able to show strength," and a lack of resources. Like there may be a combination.
Well, I think it's two separate things. So, when you're a politician, you're going to ask for things or say, I want this or I want that, full knowing that you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
It just, that type of aspect of it. I could give you a little quick story. I was with President Clinton many years ago at Radio City Music Hall. There was a big fundraiser, full house, a lot of celebrities, and some protesters got in. And they started throwing things, and I was the first person over there to grab some of them. And President Clinton's on stage saying, "Please don't hurt them. They're okay. Please don't hurt them." And that's the political side of things.
Yeah.
On the real side is the fact is we don't know who these people are, and we don't know what they're intending to do. So we had to usher them out. You talk about a First Amendment right. You do, but you don't have a right to to go after and hurt somebody.
And you don't know what the real intent,
hyperbole.
what the real intent is of those people.
Yes, and so with President Trump, a lot of the times the agents will, like all presidents, will listen, but that doesn't mean you're going to get what you get. And when you are the president of the United States, you are in a very tight bubble, extremely tight bubble. The old ad of it is, when I was in the Secret Service, I don't work for the President of the United States. I work for the government of the United States. And that kept us apart from the political aspect of things. And I hope that continues. I think it has changed.
Well, that was going to be my question. Do you feel that has continued?
No.
Yeah.
I think that the Secret Service now has become more political, in the last 4 years than it has in my almost 30 years with them. And it goes to the training, it goes to the hiring of people, and that's a slippery slope that we're walking down.
It would be a terrible thing if there was someone. I mean, I once spoke with a Secret Service agent who was retired, who said, "Yeah, there were. I worked for 7 presidents or whatever, 5 presidents." And he said, "Yeah, there was one that I didn't like. There was one that I didn't feel we were treated well. But never was there ever a time that you wouldn't have put your life on the line for that person." Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I did not vote for a few of the presidents that I helped protect, but it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is the Secret Service agent sees the good, the bad, and the ugly of politics. In that they're all human, they're all going to make mistakes at times. You're correct. Sometimes we're treated very well by some of these people, and sometimes not as good. But again, we work. We take an oath to the country, to the Constitution, and not to the president.
I'll ask you this question, and you probably won't answer, but I'll ask. I've also heard that Hillary was really tough on Secret Service agents.
My question or my answer would be is that I spent a lot of time with Mrs. Clinton, and I never had an issue at all with her.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. We certainly appreciate your service, your incredible knowledge. Robert Caltabiano, former U.S. Secret Service Special Agent, thank you so much for taking the time with us this morning.
Absolutely. And a shout out to my alma mater. It used to be Utica College. And hello to everybody in Utica.
Utica University it is
That's
today.
That's right. I forgot that.
Now. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. We really appreciate you coming on this morning. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless.
All right. God bless. Wow. Right. And the fact that he has the ties to
I forgot that was
Utica.
That's where he was educated.
So the agent that I spoke with was just he never told me who he had a problem with. or who treated them poorly. But he goes all the way back to Reagan. But that didn't come into play. You're protecting the nation. If something were to happen to the president of the United States, that's a major, major problem for the nation. Same thing here with a former president and a leading candidate for the Republicans in the presidential election. Can't have it.
No, you have to, and I think that's true of anybody that's in law enforcement or that risks their lives for other people. Same thing with the military is you don't look at that. You don't look at ideology. You look at, okay, what do I have to do to get the job accomplished? And part of your job is protecting people. So,
however, he does seem to feel maybe we're crossing lines right now. It was a few years back during this, we've never seen anything like this Trump era where things are so polarized. And if you remember, there was a Secret Service agent that came out and wrote a book. I seem to recall that, but not remember exactly what it was about. But the complaint was, and it may have been Robert Caltabiano who was on, who said, this is inappropriate. We don't speak. We don't tell secrets.
Yeah.
Things that occurred, we don't talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's part of it is because you're intimate in. I think it's been
you see things that
I think it's been widely reported that the Clintons would have arguments and scream matches and maybe things were thrown, but the Secret Service would never confirm that. But you're there, right? Because and I think the argument back then was, imagine you have to protect the president from his own wife, and the White House says because your job's to protect them both. But
well, I mean, you even go back to the days of Kennedy. There was. There were a lot of things going on there.
Right.
And I'm sure there was much more indiscretion over the years that a Secret Service agent might have seen but would never speak of.
And the same thing with the children.
I fear that maybe we're going down.
The kids too.
The kids, because there's been plenty of kids within the White House that, we're off doing what kids do. And the Secret Service, they have to be a fly in the wall and protect. They're not there to make arrests and, for people using drugs or whatever the heck it is. But
craziness.
But one of the things
wild and crazy Amy Carter.
But one of the things I was telling Andrew, I said, and yesterday we talked on the break, is that I think it's really important that they make sure they do a full accounting and that they're honest with any mistakes that were made. They have to, because if they don't, we're going to go down that road of conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
And you know how it is. You can't come out with something and then make corrections 3 months later because, you're getting backlash. You've got to come out. You've got to be thorough, and you've got to just put your cards on the table.
And I really think that we have to understand the importance of protecting a major political candidate. I mean, what does it make us look like as a nation?
Internationally, it may embolden a terrorist group or a foreign
But even
actor.
beyond that, it's what separates us from third world countries, right?
Yeah.
We should never be in a situation like this.
No.
And there are always going to be, this is not anything new, and I'm sure you would agree with this, will always be and have always been threats to either a political candidate or the president of the United States. The threats are out there. It's the Secret Service's job to prevent anything from coming of all of that.
Yeah, and you hope that they, when I was a bit shocked that I watched that first press conference. I stayed up late to watch it, and the Secret Service no-showed it. And then yesterday, another press conference was held. Secret Service no-showed it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I'm shocked that they have not come out with any. They've come out with a couple of minor statements here and there, but that they have not faced a camera and at least done an initial briefing. It's a bit shocking.
I think Robert Caltabiano, his statement was, this is an absolute nightmare for the Secret Service. Yeah. Maybe that's why they didn't come out. Yeah. Lucia on the line right now. Lucy, good morning.
Oh, good morning, Bill. Good show. Phenomenal.
Thank you.
As always. You are, I wanted to say that it was so sad, so disgusting what happened. I pray to God for all the future presidents, for this president, for Trump, for everyone in the future, the things will get more peaceful.
Yeah,
and not get involved in this kind of criminality because it will kill all of us.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think we are, as a nation, we are better than this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we pray. That's all we can do. And God is there. We pray, we pray.
All right,
He was
Lucia.
lucky. God was with him. And
Yes.
they would go even for this president, if it happened to him, I would feel
Yep.
the same way.
Yep, I agree.
Why the media and all of them, they better get their act together.
Yeah.
Because they don't know what they're doing, and that's garbage. And if it happened to them, the story would be different, you know?
Lucia,
Good
as always,
job.
we appreciate it. Thank you.
Good job.
All
You're
right.
doing well.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thanks. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
Bye.
Okay, there you go. As always, we thank you.
Absolutely.
There's never a shortage of stuff to talk about.
No, I guess not.
That is for not at this level. We're not used to stuff at this level. That is for sure. But there's never a shortage. Here's the other thing that I will say, and maybe just a brief comment on what we've been dealing with here in Utica with the police shooting of the 13-year-old. And, you know, there's a lot of people have a lot of different opinions about this and a lot of questions. How did this kid have a gun? Whether it was a pellet gun or not, there's no way police would know the difference, et cetera, et cetera. You can go a lot out further. There was a protest on Saturday during the expo, and I was told advice was given to the group that is protesting on behalf of the family. Advice was given not to protest during the Boilermaker, because there are things that could have been done, right? Anywhere along that route, somebody could have done a protest, blocked the route. They could have. So I would say I appreciate, while I don't completely agree with what they are. I mean, nobody wants to see a 13-year-old shot, period. No. This is horrible. There's no doubt. I don't necessarily agree with everything that's being said. However, I will say that it was the right move not to do a major protest during the Boilermaker race.
Well, absolutely.
Tensions are high at that point.
No doubt. And I can't imagine what the family must feel like.
Yeah, I know.
You know, it's a 13-year-old, young man who, however it happened, all that'll come out. And again, I was on the show right after that happened. And based on all the body cam that I watched, I don't think the officer had an option other than to do what he did. It's still tragic in and of itself. It's tragic for the family. It's tragic for the officers involved, and nobody's happy about any of it, I promise you.
Yeah.
But I can appreciate that, the Boilermaker would be an opportunity to make a splash, and the fact that they were respectful enough to not do it during it, I think says something to who they are.
Yeah, that's a positive. You can take any positive out of it. And at the end of the day, I wish everybody would just kind of step back. There is an investigation being done inside and out. The investigation done by the Attorney General's office, you can imagine, will be thorough. And I can't imagine that office would be in a situation where they would cover anything up. I would worry maybe a little on the other side. They might be even more critical of police. Do you agree that we should wait, and we can probably rely on whatever that decision is, whatever their assessment is?
Yeah, I think so. And I don't think that investigation is going to be as long as you might think. But what you do hope for is, we can't. It's difficult to put ourselves in the position of other people sometimes. But if you look at this family, not originally from here, coming here, learning, although they've been here for a few years, they're still learning the American way, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So, and where they came from was such a dominated,
you don't trust
dictatorship,
police there.
right?
Yeah.
So I hope they're getting advice from people they trust outside of this incident that lets them know that, hey, this is not where you came from. This is how this is going to be done, and it'll be thorough, and we'll get to the bottom of it.
Steve Houck, as always, thank you.
Pleasure.
Got a break. Coming up, Jimmy Fallon on WIBX.
Adirondack Home Furniture knows that when it comes to outdoor furniture, you want something that's comfortable, durable, and stylish. That's why Polywood is the perfect choice. Polywood furniture is made from high-quality materials that are weather-resistant and easy to clean. Plus, each piece is designed with comfort and style in mind, so you can enjoy your outdoor space like never before. Whether you're looking for classic Adirondack chairs, stylish dining sets and sofas, or a beautiful fire pit, Polywood has everything you need to create create the perfect outdoor oasis. So why wait? Transform your outdoor space into a place of relaxation, fun, and style with Polywood Furniture at Adirondack Home Furniture. Stop in and explore their large selection of Polywood pieces and take one home today. Adirondack Home Furniture does custom orders, delivery, and setup. Stop in today and explore the world of Polywood. Adirondack Home Furniture in the former Riverside Mall, North Utica, or at AdirondackHomeFurniture.com.
There's no glory in getting beat up on the job. Aches and pains aren't trophies. They're just barriers keeping pros like you from getting work done. But Ferris commercial mowers at Clinton Tractor help you finish strong and feel good doing it with patented suspension technology. Visit Clinton Tractor today for a test drive and feel the Ferris difference. Or go to clintontractor.net. Ferris, work hard, feel good.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
Aches and pains aren't trophies. They're just barriers keeping pros like you from getting the work done. You know this business can be back-breaking. All the more reason to partner with someone who has your back, like Clinton Tractor and Ferris Commercial Mowers. Ferris is about helping you finish strong and feel good doing it, with patented suspension technology that allows you to mow faster and get more work done in comfort so you can feel good tomorrow. Visit Clinton Tractor today or at clintontractor.net. Ferris, work hard, feel good.
Ready to hit the road with confidence this summer? Look no further than Tallman's Tire and Auto Repair, your one-stop shop for top-quality tires at unbeatable prices. Now through September 2nd, get up to $130 back on a Firestone Visa prepaid card when you buy a set of 4 eligible Firestone tires. Or buy 4 eligible Bridgestone tires and get up to $140 back on a Bridgestone Visa prepaid card. Experience the thrill of savings on every mile. To learn more and to schedule an appointment, visit tallmanstire.com.
Mattress Express's brand name low price guarantee is what you need. When you buy a mattress at Mattress Express, if you see it advertised locally within 30 days for less, bring it to our attention and we simply refund the difference. That is peace of mind at Mattress Express.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, let me bring in this person you've never heard of before. Oh, I'm kidding. You only listen to him every single day. Here,
we're glad to have him back this week.
Throughout the country and around the world. The one and only Jimmy Fallon. Good morning.
Boom! Welcome
Boom.
back. This is the first thing I've done. I've been on vacation for 2 weeks.
I heard that. Yeah, nice.
You were the first sober people I've spoken to.
So you think.
How are your liver
I don't even know if
enzymes?
that's true.
Yeah.
With this show, I don't even know if that's true. I'm really taking a leap of faith on that
That is a
one,
good
but
point. Yeah.
Anyway.
We could
to
be
be back.
snookered at this point. You wouldn't even know. I mean, once you consume enough alcohol consistently,
You're pickled.
You can't even tell they're drunk when they're drunk. All right,
But what a day to come back, Jimmy, with all
Holy
this going on.
moly.
I know with the Richard Simmons death. I know we're going to be doing heavily on that.
And he
That'll be the focus.
never came
Yeah.
out. Can you believe it? He never talked about that sexual thing.
He pitched the shutout. Wire to wire. Crazy. But with everything else going on, obviously he's got a little nuts today. What I've enjoyed, because I'm always trying to find the silver lining, and I'm sure you've made the same observation, is all of the people, who said Trump was Hitler for 10 years, wishing him thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, that is
It's
interesting.
my favorite thing in the world. I'm like, well, if he's Hitler, I don't think today's a good day for you,
Yeah.
But that just shows you the fraud in our politics. So I'm hoping this was a teachable moment, if anything else.
I feel like very much, remember 9/11, everybody was kumbaya, and then that lasted for about 2 days. And
I remember that. So down in New York, Keeler, let me add to that. There was this magical feeling in New York where everybody had an American flag on their antenna, and they were letting people merge, and they were putting on their blinker before they changed lanes. And then by around September 15th, people were back to peeing in big gulps and throwing it at each other on the Van Wyck Expressway. This is totally that.
That is so true. It lasted. I mean, it lasted for a very short amount of time.
Yeah, I'd say 5 days.
Yeah, I got to tell you something too. I had a real problem with my daughter, who's living in the city. Her apartment building got infested with mice. Jimmy, Jimmy, I have never seen mice as big as the mice. We're always talking about the rats in New York City. These mice are the size of our rats. It's unbelievable.
No, they're massive, and it's NYU, so they're pro-Hamas, and they're extra annoying.
That is so funny. I'll pass that one on to my daughter. She'll love it. You're going to be very busy today. What's your take on? I mean, how in the world did Secret Service allow that building to be outside the perimeter? That's the big question today, it seems.
Yeah, and they're trying to pass this off as the responsibility of the local jurisdiction.
Yeah.
They're saying, well, the incompetence isn't on us. I'm like, all right, I'd believe you if all your agents knew how to holster their guns.
Yeah.
Okay, we all saw the cast of Bridesmaids struggling to figure out what to do in the aftermath of that shooting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, the cynic is going to be like, well, they didn't really care as much about Trump. I don't have that answer. But we do know there are very few coincidences when it comes to Donald Trump and the government doing him wrong. But the bigger issue is the one you pointed out. If this is the most obvious sniper perch at the event, the Secret Service should be securing it. And when they say it's outside the perimeter, okay, you could tell me that's the case, but this is such a short shot that it shouldn't be. Okay, so at the very least, it's still a negligence on their part not to ascertain that it was secured. So I don't know. I mean, I think the woman should be fired.
Yeah.
Kimberly Cheadle, but I don't think she will be because Biden, they haven't fired people. They didn't fire anybody after Afghanistan, and they didn't fire the White House drug maker after that debate performance. So he couldn't get fired.
That's right. Apparently, he gave them. It was a clinical trial, and he received the placebo. So
yeah.
I got to tell you, this is another thing that just blows my mind. Now, we now know that police had seen, or somebody had seen the guy on the building. So they're now looking for him. They're climbing up the ladder. He turns around, shoots or points his gun at police. They duck. They come down. He's then allowed to turn back around and take shots at all of this is going on, and somebody doesn't say or communicate to Secret Service, maybe we ought to get Trump off the stage while this is going on. I can't even believe that. Before any shot is fired.
Yeah, they're blaming it on communications. They're saying there wasn't a direct channel between, between agencies. But I also find that hard to believe because again, that speaks to the Secret Service not having command of the whole entire perimeter, which they have to if the president's there. So yeah, there'll be an investigation, and we'll get, we'll find out. I hope. But when you start to hear things like, "Oh, the FBI can't break into the kid's phone or their shooter's phone," whatever this dirtbag was. That's weird to me because I, as a Fox News host, the FBI is breaking into my phone right now.
Weekly basis.
Yeah. I actually know the guy now. I'm like, Gary, is that you?
You're typing him messages.
Can you just let me call my son back quick? You can have the phone in a second, Gary.
Listen, my wife is all into my phone. I keep changing the password. She keeps getting in it. If she can get in,
unbelievable.
The FBI should be able to get in. All right, one. Obviously, you have so much going on, from TV to radio to the book. I mean, you are on fire. I'm just saying.
Well, thanks for that, Keeler. I mean, I am peaking in life right now. So yes, you basically, in a roundabout way, informed the audience that it's all downhill from here, and I'm fine for it. I'm like a childhood star. This is that. And we're gonna have a nice ride back down the mountain. I'm looking forward to taking in every inch.
I think it's all. You're still on an incline. You're still doing. You're still moving upward, which means a trip back to Utica is probably in the.
Let's hope so.
Right?
We got to work this out.
Yeah,
we got to work this out. I will tell you this. Because I was just on tour, right?
Yeah.
They have me off from now until the end of the election. I'm completely off because, I need to be doing my show live on Saturday night.
Yep.
But there's 1 week where Lincoln has a bye during the football season. So maybe between now and the end of the year, we could do like a Friday night show up there.
I love that.
Let's work it out. We'll figure it out.
We'll talk. Huge. And of course, Jimmy.
And I'll be the first one standing in line for a ticket.
That's right.
No, David, you're not paying. You sneak past security. He puts on the wig. He flirts with the guy. I've seen this. It works every time.
He does. How did you know? All right. Good stuff, Jimmy. We'll be listening today at noon. Welcome back from vacation.
Thanks, my man. I'll see you guys
All
soon.
right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much.
All right, bye.
Jimmy Fallon. And listen every day, Monday through Friday, and then sometimes on the weekends, but Monday through Friday, live, noon until 3 p.m. here on WIBX. Sal is on with a story on Secret Service to wrap it up here this morning. Sal, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
What do you have?
So, I believe it was in September of 2009, there was a big event at Harts Hill Inn in Whitesboro. And it was to raise money for epilepsy.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you guys remember David Axelrod?
Yeah.
He was Obama's advisor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he was the guest speaker. So
Okay.
I went with my ex-wife because my ex-wife had epilepsy. There was about 600 to 700 people at this event.
Yeah.
And David Axelrod came to speak because at the time, his daughter had epilepsy, and she had it so bad to the point where she needed 24-hour care.
Wow.
Axelrod's daughter.
Yeah.
So talking about the Secret Service. Now, you walk into the Harts Hill Inn, and you guys know they stick out like sore thumbs.
Yep. You know who they are.
They're in each corner. They're all dressed. They all got sunglasses on. You can see the air.
You know who they are, yes.
You know who they are. They were all over the place. But I just do not recall ever being frisked.
That's
I don't.
interesting.
Really don't. I don't recall ever being frisked.
So they would
And
not.
then when the
by the
dinner was over,
way, I have like 20 seconds, but that's shocking to me.
yeah, I don't recall. There were 700 people there.
Yeah.
The place was packed.
So the dinner's over.
And
What?
after
what-
his
yeah.
speech, we got to take a picture with him
Yeah.
in a separate room.
Nobody checked anything.
And they were in there too, but I just don't recall ever being frisked.
Wow.
I'll be honest with you.
Gotta wonder. Sal, as always, thanks, man. We'll do it again. You have a wonderful day.
All right, my man.
All right.
Okay.
Sal Barbero, the one and only umpire. We got to go. Coming up, remember Jimmy Fallon, noon today. News is next on WIBX.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton of Hilton Estate and Elder Law with important information for families that have disabled children to protect the child and to ensure your future wishes are met. So if you have a disabled child, you need to provide them with what's called a special needs trust. This trust allows them to receive an inheritance from you, but also allows them to keep any governmental benefits that they are receiving. It is critically important that if they have an inheritance coming, that they not lose their benefits. Unmarried couples should be aware of important steps they need to take with their estate planning. If a partner dies and does not leave a will, the surviving partner will not likely receive any of the assets from the deceased partner. This can create a lot of problems in the future and must be resolved utilizing a will or a trust. To find out more about strategies to protect your loved ones through proper estate planning, contact us at Hilton Estate and Elder Law. Call for more information and to schedule an in-person meeting to answer your questions.
Hilton, you know the name, they know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law.
We're your neighbors, friends, and your family. We care about our community, your business, and most important, you.
We support charities like the United Way, McMahon Ryan Child Advocacy Center. We're the members of IBEW Local 43 and NECA Contractors. You don't just see our work, you live it. From the JMA Wireless Dome, hospitals, schools, and city buildings, the IBEW is part of the community.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
Go BOGO crazy at My Carl's. Buy one, get one half off. The combinations are endless. In stock, fast delivery, plus no credit needed financing. Go BOGO today only at My Carl's and the new Hartford Shopping Center.
For eligible individuals, 18 and older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Selects Premium Package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home. All done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better. You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week. No charge.
From the Stanley